This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Health Minister Wells warns the Prime Minister is not afraid to make hard decisions when it comes to COVID in the country. China heading back over U.S. concerns about its involvement in the Caribbean. And it is April. That means it's Autism Awareness Week and month. We are talking with Reach about autism in the Bahamas. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking about what's being proposed to reform the Bahamas Industrial Tribunal. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, as he expressed concern over large gatherings held over the Easter weekend and the increase in COVID-19 cases last month, Minister of Health Robert Wells says Bahamians should know that the Prime Minister is not afraid to make the hard decisions to control the spread of the virus. The minister also defended recent campaign events, stating that he believes that you're not supposed to have more than 20 people gathering together in one particular place. Wells, though incorrect on that point, the current emergency order prohibits social gatherings in a private residence or facility except for a wedding on New Providence, Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma. Wells says the country is in a race to vaccinate the population and slow the spread of COVID-19. More than 10,000 Bahamians and residents got their first shot of the AstraZeneca vaccine, according to Wells. Speaking to the media yesterday, he says the government is open to securing other COVID-19 vaccines, including Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. The Bahamas received 20,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine in mid-March as a donation from the government of India. Last week, 33,600 doses of AstraZeneca secured through the COVAX facility arrived in the country. An additional 67,200 doses secured through that facility are expected in the country next month. The vaccine rollout started on New Providence and Grand Bahama and Eleuthera. Well, says some Bahamians who are eligible to get the vaccine at this point have complained that they cannot get an appointment. With thousands of Bahamians still out of work, Minister of Public Service and National Insurance Brenza Rolls says the government has extended its unemployment assistance program for another month until the end of April. Roll says the National Insurance Board and the government have already spent more than $300 million helping to keep unemployed Bahamians afloat during the pandemic. Acting Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson says that the government extended its food assistance program until the end of June as well. He says $3 million was allocated for the extension of the program. Johnson says the government has spent $34 million on the program so far. That program started last year in an effort to provide widespread food assistance amidst the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting economic crisis. It was initially expected to continue until the end of August. It has been extended several times since then. A Chinese embassy official calling on the United States to stop finger-pointing about China's involvement in the Bahamas and do more to improve vaccine accessibility for developing countries, create jobs, and protect the livelihoods of locals. A spokesman for the embassy saying, quote, "In the spirit of building a community with a shared future for mankind, China has assisted the Bahamas in post-hurricane reconstruction and in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. We will soon provide another batch of medical supplies to this country. In the context of the ongoing pandemic, it is all the more disappointing to hear such negative comments about China-Bahamas cooperation. Instead of finger-pointing, it would be much better to do more for vaccine accessibility for developing countries and for helping to create jobs and protect the livelihood of the local people. There are real concerns of people. These are the real concerns of people in this region." You can read more in today's Nassau Guardian. And a magistrate will decide today whether a pastor will be granted bail pending his trial for intentional libel. Apostle Julian Johnson, the senior pastor at Sufficient Grace International Ministries, denying that he accused Police Commissioner Paul Roll of sexually assaulting female officers during a Facebook broadcast last month. The 50-year-old Johnson appeared in court shortly after he surrendered to the Criminal Investigation Department around noon yesterday. Although Johnson was in custody, the CID officers did not restrain him. He walked freely between two officers. After his arraignment before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt, police didn't have a chance to review the file to determine if she had an objection to bail. The magistrate and the police prosecutor, who claimed that she only received the file moments before Johnson entered his plea. However, Johnson's lawyer, Jomo Campbell, vigorously protested the deferral of the court's decision. Campbell argued that there was no basis for the refusal of bail or the deferral of bail. He said that a deferral of bail could be seen as a pretrial punishment. Ferguson Pratt says she didn't want to force the Crown's hand. As the magistrate is due to travel on official business today, she has transferred the matter to the Deputy Chief Magistrate only to consider the issue of bail. Overseas, the European Union's medicines regulator will announce the conclusions of its investigation into the possible connection between AstraZeneca's coronavirus vaccine and rare blood clots. That's expected later today. Earlier this week, a senior official with the European Medicines Agency, or EMA, said there was a causal link between the AstraZeneca vaccine and the rare blood clots that have been seen in dozens of people worldwide, among the tens of millions who have received at least one dose. Marco Cavalieri, the head of health threats and vaccine strategy of the Amsterdam-based agency, saying in comments to Rome's Il Messaggero newspaper Tuesday that, quote, "It is becoming more and more difficult to affirm that there isn't a cause and effect relationship between AstraZeneca's vaccines and the very rare cases of blood clots associated with a low level of platelets." But Cavalieri acknowledged the agency hadn't yet figured out how exactly the vaccine might be causing these rare side effects. The agency said its evaluation has not yet reached a conclusion and that the review is currently ongoing. The EMA, World Health Organization, and numerous other health authorities have said repeatedly that the AstraZeneca vaccine is safe and effective and that the protection it offers against COVID-19 outweighs the small risks of rare blood clots. In sports, on the strength of a 6-game winning streak, DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns are sitting in second and eyeing the number 1 seed in a tough Western Conference in the NBA. They took down the Houston Rockets 133 to 130 at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, Monday. Giovanni Buddy Hield and the Sacramento Kings were not so fortunate as they fell to the Minnesota Timberwolves 116 to 106 at the Target Center in Minneapolis on Monday as well. Hield finished with 18 points in the game against the T-Wolves, all of which came on made three-pointers, and he now sits at the top of the league this season in made three-pointers with 204 as of yesterday afternoon. Hield finished the night 6 for 17 from the field and was 6 for 16 from three-point range. The three-point specialist has made 288 field goals in total this season, meaning that 70.8% of those made field goals have come from beyond the arc. Also from the NBA from last night, Stephen Curry and the Warriors using a furious finish to hold off the Bucks 122 to 121 last night. And the U.S. State Department says it's talking with allies about China's human rights record and how to handle next year's Beijing Winter Olympics. A department spokesperson Tuesday suggesting that an Olympic boycott to protest China's rights abuses was among the possibilities, but a senior official said later that a boycott has not yet been discussed. Human rights groups are protesting China's hosting of the Games, which open on February 4th, 2022. They have urged a diplomatic or straight-up boycott to call attention to alleged Chinese abuses against many minority groups in the country and the residents of Hong Kong. Activists are also reaching out to the National Olympic Committees, athletes, and sponsors after failing to get the Switzerland-based International Olympic Committee to move the Games out of China. Beijing is the first city to win the right to host both the Summer and Winter Olympics. The 2008 Beijing Olympics were held with the hope of improving human rights in the country. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time now for your first look at weather. In weather, your first look at weather for today, we've got tropical moisture being pulled across the Bahamas today as high pressure remains the dominant feature across the area. For the northwest Bahamas today, that's going to mean partly sunny and warm conditions with a chance of passing showers, becoming partly cloudy and mild tonight. Winds east to southeast to 10 to 15 knots or less, and seas 1 to 3 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy and warm with isolated showers, becoming partly cloudy and mild tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. It's about 64 degrees right now in Nassau under partly cloudy skies. Look for highs getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a cool 59 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasanya Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business. At RBC, our digital banking and cashless solutions provide security and peace of mind as payments are verified, convenient, and fast. Plus, Going cashless helps your business thrive by saving you time and money. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Chester Robards is here. He's getting to the mic. He'll say something in a moment. You can also join our conversation. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Email us morningblend@nasgar.com, or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Chester Robards, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us.
Good to be here.
Hope you had a great Easter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. A lot to get to this morning, folks. Coming up, we've got more weather and traffic. And in our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to start a conversation about autism in the Bahamas. It is Autism Awareness Month. Folks from REACH will be with us this morning. Then in Morning Blend Business, we're going to talk about the Industrial Tribunal. There are calls for reform, and there are proposals, and we'll talk about that, what is being proposed to adjust and change and fix, some might say, the Bahamas Industrial Tribunal. That's coming up. But right now, let's talk about what's in the news. And in the news, quite a bit to get to this morning. In a little bit, we'll talk about this. We spoke about this quite a bit yesterday about the U.S.'s concerns about China in the Bahamas and in the region. Well, the Chinese are responding to the U.S., calling them out on some things. We'll get into that in just a bit. And the government announcing that it will extend its unemployment assistance program. We'll talk about that as well in just a bit. But we want to begin with the Minister of Health. Speaking yesterday to reporters ahead of a Ministry of Health update, the first one in a long time that's expected for today. Speaking about what we've been seeing over the past few days, the number of gatherings over the weekend, the holiday weekend, large groups getting together, and a warning from the Minister of Health. The Prime Minister is not afraid to make the hard decisions. What does that mean? Take a listen to this report from our Jasmine Brown.
There is lots of concern among the health officials as to the increase in numbers, the increase in hospitalization. The Prime Minister, you would remember, said at the airport when we were receiving the vaccines from PAHO, you know, the media sort of put a little cliche in there, say the Prime Minister say, behave yourself. And he was saying that because in actual fact, he was asking the Bahamian people during the course of this holiday to exercise additional due diligence.
However, Wells says based on the videos that circulated over the holidays, it's clear not everyone heeded the Prime Minister's advice. For that reason, health officials will keep a close eye on COVID numbers over the next 2 weeks.
There was lots of activity on lots and lots of activity. And so we're hoping that at the end of the day, what we saw does not inure to increasing numbers. In 14 days, there's the potential for greater numbers.
Wells says they are also concerned over a spike in COVID cases last month. When asked if the Ministry of Health has recommended that restrictions be tightened, Wells said this.
We're going to have to look at those measures, look at the health protocols. And obviously, you know, the Prime Minister is an individual who is never afraid to make hard choices and decisions. And so at the end of the day, we'll look at the data that we're seeing.
COVID cases nearly doubled in March, with 613 cases reported, according to Ministry of Health data. According to the COVID-19 dashboards, 336 cases were reported in January and 335 cases were reported in February. Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
The Prime Minister not afraid to make the hard decisions.
Yeah, well, I think we've realized that over the past year. Hard, unpopular. It's all the same.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Boy, it would hurt if we had to go back.
Yeah.
After all of this, it would hurt. But anyway, we will see what is said today. Yeah. But the attitude is very strange from what we're seeing from people. I mean, people are like, well, I don't care, but they can lock us down, right? In the same breath. You're out there, you're attending every party every week, every day on the weekend, and we can get locked down for sure. Like, okay, so this is your goal? Is that what it is? Like, well, since we're going to get locked down, although I'm helping to make it happen, I'm going to go out with a bang?
Maybe people are immune to lockdowns now.
And they don't care. I could use some time off.
Maybe.
I don't mind working from home. Yeah. I don't mind having restricted freedoms.
Maybe.
I liked when the store was only open for a few hours and I had to rush. Okay. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But the behaviors aren't changing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I said, I know what's going to happen. Someone's going to call here today or text us and say, it's enforcement. We need the enforcement. We need the enforcement. Okay. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. But my goodness, we're all in this together. This is a community. You need to play a role too. You need to be more responsible. Yeah. You need to not push your luck.
But you also can't enforce like small gatherings too much. Like
that's true.
They don't have enough forces for that.
Right. Yep. And people are doing a great job of hiding it, pulling up in one vehicle
but when it comes to spreading a virus, it only takes a little tiny, because then people are going to disperse from there and go spread it somewhere else.
Yeah. You could be with one other person.
Yeah.
And that person could go to one other
And
person.
infect.
And just keep going. We went through all this last year.
Yeah.
But apparently people have forgotten already. But yeah, I don't know. Related to this, more than 10,000 people have been vaccinated so far, according to the Minister of Health. He's saying that, 10,000 people have gotten their shot at this point. And he's also saying that the government is open to securing other COVID-19 vaccines, including Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. Well, saying, quote, a lot of Bahamians have been crying for the Johnson & Johnson. We're seeking to see how we can source Johnson & Johnson as well as the others. Pfizer, we're going to have our ultra-low temperature storage refrigerators in the country at the beginning of May, which is about another month. So we'll be able to bring in Pfizer if we need to.
Just in case.
Well, why are you getting the freezers?
Just in case.
What? Okay. He also said, quote, we also have other facilities in country now where we could store Pfizer if we were able to access it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, says some Bahamians who are eligible to get the vaccine at this point have complained that they have not been able to get an appointment. He said, quote, we do have additional vaccines and we want people to take it. I said that not because persons are not taking it, because Bahamians are going online and signing up and calling me. They're upset that some of them don't have an appointment until May. And so we're looking at how we can open up additional sites to make sure that everybody's able to get in to get that vaccine so we're able to combat the potential for further increases. He also, I think he said that in the report, that they've sent the samples to the labs and no evidence that we have the strain.
Right.
Yeah, we finally got those results after all those months. But they are sending them now to Trinidad, apparently. And we should get the results in a faster time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what do you make of all of this, folks? This message from the minister. The prime minister is at the ready to make the hard decisions if necessary.
Are we blaming the young people too, like America is now, for spreading COVID?
I don't know. We'll see what they say today.
Yeah.
It's been young people in the pictures and the videos that we see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always been kind of right. They're the ones who take it to around the old people.
Old people, yeah.
Who get sick and die. It's kind of always been like that. But there's enough blame to go around for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. So we don't have to continue to point
Quite
fingers
right,
there.
right.
All right, let's hear what you have to say. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. 422-4796. Here's a text. Minnis continues to have official parties but keeps blaming the poor man for the spread. Your station fails to call him out on this. I don't know if you listen to this station. Obviously, this is your first day. But you need to stop. But they say that we're pathetic. Okay. Yeah. We have been talking
this must
about.
be their first
yeah.
day.
Welcome to Guardian Radio. We're 9 years old this week, by the way, April 10th, our 9th anniversary. But thanks for coming. Anyway, we've been saying it nonstop how hypocritical these parties are. The nerve of them. And we know there's more than 10 or 20 people in their little groups, and they're not standing 6 feet apart. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing a mask or not. You're basically on top of each other.
They have drinks and food, so masks coming off at some point.
So let's stop it. And we've been doing that. We've been saying that. But you hear what you want to hear. But welcome again. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Mr. Strachan, how are you doing, sir?
Hi, good morning.
You and your guest.
Yep.
Strachan, let me ask you a question. Let me put you on the spot in a good way. Do the media take Ronald Wells serious?
What type of question is that?
Oh.
No, I mean, Ronald Wells, the prime minister, he's scared to make a tough decision, right? I mean,
hey, we don't have a union, so I can't speak. But what do you take him seriously? That's the most important part. It doesn't matter what we think.
I mean, Ronald Wells, nothing against him. Ronald Wells is the most unqualified minister this country has ever had.
Well, I actually think that's not true, but okay.
I can't make a point. I'll be respectful. Can't make a point.
Sure.
Ronald Wells is an engineer, right? Ronald Wells cannot draw a point of blood to save his own life. That's what I'm talking about. I mean smartness and book smart. But when it comes to healthcare, This man have no idea about healthcare. But Mr.
You
Stone,
know, that's a system that you all have in this country and that you all seem to want to keep here, right? Because in other places, qualified people who are not necessarily elected officials are named to the cabinet after being vetted by their parliament. But that's not exactly what we do here. So you will continue to have this type of stuff happen unless we change it. We don't hear enough of political types talking about the changes needed. But you use it when it's convenient. When it's only lawyers and engineers who are elected to the House, what do you expect to happen?
Mr. Strachan, first of all, you have to have the nerve to run for politics. You can't, you can't.
Nerve?
No, Mr. Strachan, give me a second. You can't sit on the sideline and play both people because I think it's smart on everybody. And when the party win, you go up there on your own wake and expect to be mental health, okay? All right, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm not against it, but you have to spend some money.
Some people don't have time for the.
No, Mr. Strachan. You have to go there, help some people, do some things. You can't sit on the sideline and play.
Well, also sitting in the hospital and saving people's lives is also very important.
Very good, Mr. Doctor. Okay, so I mean, give him the credit. Okay, Mr. Strachan, don't sidetrack me, right? Another thing, right? What happened to Dr. Nikia Forbes? She resigned.
No, she did not.
So what's this in the papers? The papers lying then.
You know, people have other side jobs. I mean,
everybody see. She tired of lies too. But another thing, right? Mr. Strachan, last one, you listening?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, man, let's be careful, right? Or you could take a man serious who is on tape, directing people and Ronald Reyes to get paid next month for doing voice note. I mean, you take the man serious? Hello?
I don't know what you just said. But okay.
You and Ronald Reyes was on tape.
Okay.
I didn't really understand half of what he said just now.
I really don't want to understand. Okay. I mean, hey, if you don't like him, if you don't appreciate it, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to sell it to us. We get it. Yeah, it's cool. You want company with it? Okay.
And that's what it's all about.
Is that what? Hey, yeah. No, you're right. I don't like him either. Hey, ooh. Okay. Well.
That's how you win elections.
You're
right. You're right.
You sure you like him? Because you remember. Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning to your listeners all over the world. And Chester, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Great, you're holding on. Something was reported on your news either last night, and I think I heard Dwight say something about it this morning with the prophet. It was charged and remanded or something like that. Mm-hmm. I agree with the singing bishop. I think that's the singing bishop Lawrence rule on the news last night, saying you got to be careful, even if you're a prophet, when you stand on the pulpit and talk about things. And I must agree with him. And there's rules and regulations and laws in the country. And it's the commission of the day. It could be me or you tomorrow. So we really need to be careful how we deal with things. But I little
disappointed that's why we drop calls here very often.
Yeah, that's what. Mm-hmm. But I little disappointed on the same newscast. Right after that, some fellas then was charged, carried before the court, given bail for $10,000 for drugs. What was bust? And I say to myself, although the prophet, I ain't no judge or nothing, I think he should have been given the privilege or the opportunity for bail, even if it was $1 million bail, house arrest, anklet bracelet, or whatever. So much other serious charges on people, and they get bail. I cry shame on whosoever's the leading or head prosecutor in that situation. I noticed some of the judges, sometimes when the prosecution don't have their case in order, like last week, the people who were either charged for the COVID test, fraudulent COVID test, they either was not given bail, but either put off until sentences, and then one of the cases, the prosecution had their act together. The prosecution should have known just what time it is yesterday. I think they had time to think about it from it was allegedly reported, and the reporters was asking the commissioner about it. I think we need to be careful how we deal with things. It's not what you do, how you do it. The prophet should have been given the opportunity.
Well, remember now, apparently the issue was a file wasn't received on time. That was
who fault that is? Normally, I see Ms. Ferguson, magistrate, chief magistrate, plenty times when the prosecution don't have their act together, she either put them in their place. But yesterday, they should have had. I think it's a disgrace. The prophet should have been, even if he's wrong. Every man is innocent until proven guilty. He should have been given the opportunity for bail yesterday. More serious cases and things happen.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be able to apply today, so they'll hopefully deal with that today. But it's also notable. Thanks a lot for calling. Also notable that he was not handcuffed and shackled, unlike some other people who are also innocent until proven guilty. Right? And this has been an issue for a while.
Yeah.
And when high-profile people are shackled and handcuffed, people talk about it. But when the kid in the Nike shirt, nobody cares, it seems.
Yeah.
So we need to stop the double standards. We've been saying that forever.
Yeah.
Right? And make things fair across the board. But again, some people seem to like it like this. I don't know. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning again.
Morning.
Dwight, you know something? I listened to Dave spoke a while ago, right? Getting the people personal business. Dwight, if you wake, or if I wait for you and you tell me I can pay you money or the following week, wouldn't you go and collect your money?
I guess.
Huh?
Sure.
See, the thing of the matter, everybody know Dave is a hack. PLP, he gets paid to talk him and Tom and a few others. You know, just like how you want the PLP to win, everybody want their own party to win. But sometimes you got to be on the middleman. And sometimes the things you be speaking about, he'll be up to all there, but I don't believe they have to read, right, you know.
Oh, no. Okay. Everybody, let's stop this now. This is the same reason why this pastor is in the problem that he's in. These personal attacks, save it for your bedroom or bathroom or kitchen or bar, wherever you go. Just stop it. Just stop. What day is it? Is it Friday yet? Oh, my goodness gracious.
You need another holiday. Starting tomorrow.
Oh, I don't understand. Already, good morning. Call, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Sound like you're having a hard time today. Good morning, Jasper.
Morning.
Yeah, Dwight, before I go, let me begin. 2 points. I understand you're celebrating 9 years broadcasting and Guardian Radio. Guardian Radio celebrating 9 years, sorry.
Both statements are right, yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, you're going to venture into TV?
I mean, what do you mean? Like
TV station.
Would you like that?
Sure.
Oh, okay. We'll think about it.
Okay. That's not in the making right now.
Not exactly. But
exactly.
Who knows? But we're trying to be the best in radio that we can. Still have a lot of work to do, but we're trying.
Flo is ready. Flo got a lot of space.
You want to see Dwight as like Amari Povich. That's what you want to see.
Only honestly, right. I want to see the rest of the personalities.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you can watch us on our video stream. That's going on. You know, you can.
Yeah,
that's not the same. No,
not like a TV.
Well, okay.
On a flat screen.
Oh,
yeah, but
you could put that on your flat screen.
Pardon me?
You could hook that up to your flat screen. Yeah.
But my second point is dealing with the Great Commissioner. I think that was in poor taste. I think it was a deliberate lie. And you shouldn't be lying on people like that. I think you should get the maximum 5 years or 10 years. Not only lie on the commissioner.
Okay. Well, we don't know.
This is my opinion. He lie on God. My opinion, he lie on God and he lie on the commissioner. And you don't destroy people's family. I pick Paul Ballard to be the commissioner. He's a great guy and he continue to do a great job. And I hope he get just put some heavy fine on him or put us up in jail.
Okay.
Have a good day, Dwight.
Well, we're not really talking about that one today, but okay, there we go. Let's read some messages. Someone says here, when Dr. Sands was the Minister of Health, the PLP Dave still found fault. Well, that is very true. He's called all the doctors' names. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, the government should do what is necessary to save livelihoods and lives. It has put the necessary protocols in place to curb the spread of the disease and has rolled out a comprehensive vaccination program. We must hunker down and continue to fight this thing as united people. It's the only way through to get to where we need to be as a country in regards to the disease. Okay. Another one. When people defame our character, the police don't lock them up. The average person has to get a lawyer or just absorb it. Justice is for who?
What?
Well, I mean, that's...
If somebody defames you, then you go and seek your justice.
I don't understand your text.
No, because it doesn't make sense.
Okay. Okay, only in the Bahamas is the suspect is the victim, and the victim is the suspect. It goes a lot to the values in this country. Well, I don't think it's only in the Bahamas. Not only in the Bahamas, but yeah. Things are messed up, folks. Things are very messed up. Let's take some more calls before we take a break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Ben.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I am so encouraged to learn for the first time that we have a prime minister who's not afraid of making hard decisions. That's very encouraging. And I have an easy one to suggest for him to make. During the lockdowns, he probably may feel he could take advantage of island hopping and campaigning. He started that. I think I'm right about that. And if he could stop the campaigning and lead by example and say, look, you know what? I got this fever. I want to win. Bad. But this COVID is more serious. I want everybody to stop. Now, if he could do that, that's an easy decision.
Yeah. Very easily. Oh, he could say it. Hey, the election will be May, blah, 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 2022.
Right.
So everybody could calm down.
Right.
And let's get healthy.
Let's get this over with, man. But, you're trying to have one foot in heaven and one in hell. But, there's something that I want to draw to your attention. During the holiday, I was on Burnett Road trying to get home, coming from the roundabout, heading towards Foxhill roundabout. And I saw about 50 police cars at these little locations where people are gathering, right, trying to break up the gathering. So as I drive slowly past, it took me about half an hour to get up. I hear voices of persons who were not Bahamian accent. The majority of them were speaking and robbing with the police as though they have a right to. But I keep hearing these very accents, and I want to know what we could do better.
What were they? British?
Huh?
British? What were we hearing?
Well, if you were to try to go to take a role in a British movie like Seven, if you have a Jamaican accent, you could win over the Indian.
I don't know what you're saying, but okay. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, just because you have a strange accent doesn't mean you're not a citizen, even.
That's right.
So, I mean, hey, obviously. Okay. And this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. How you all doing, man?
Doing well.
Well, y'all sound beautiful on the radio this morning.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, I was just calling in. Y'all had a news report last night about the promotion at CIPC, a foreign person taking over the position. And I think we have adequate Bahamians who can take over the position at CIPC. I've been a member of that bank over 25 years. I know many persons who started out as loan officers, and now they're at the top. So I don't see any reason why they should be overlooked, Bahamians are quite qualified to run that bank. It's a very efficient bank that they've been with me from the good times and the bad times. And so I don't see why they have to bring in a foreign person to run the bank,
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, they're a private company, and they are still Canadian owned. I guess they do what they want to do, but okay. All right. Hey, let's take a break. When we come back, more of what's making news on this. It's not Friday, you say? Wednesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Traveling around the world, infecting men, women, boy, and girl, causing folks to quarantine. I'm talking about COVID-19. Coronavirus, you're a pest. You've got this world in a mess. Like a lethal weapon in the dark, leaving death, destruction in your path. COVID-19, COVID-19. Oh, you're such a killing machine. COVID-19, COVID-19. An enemy that remains unseen.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. Are your kids back in class 5 days a week? A new survey just released by the Biden administration shows that a lot of students are not returning to the classroom, even though more schools are reopening for full-time in-person learning. Just 34% of students are learning full-time in the classroom, according to the survey. President Biden's announced that all adults will be eligible to get the COVID shot by April 19th. But his chief medical advisor is warning that we're not out of the woods yet.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says the nation's not in a fourth virus wave, at least not yet. With images of spring break travel and partying and states rolling back regulations that help slow the virus spread, Fauci says the country's tempting a fourth wave and on the brink of another surge.
And we just don't want to have to go back to really shutting things down. That would be terrible.
He says Americans can look ahead to better times, but cannot stop doing the things that will deliver them. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Jurors in the trial of the former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin are hearing from experts in the use of force. Chauvin's charged with murder in the death of George Floyd.
Minneapolis Police Lieutenant Johnny Mercil, who taught Chauvin use of force, testified he went too far and violated policy, but under cross-examination acknowledged officers are trained in some cases to use their knee across a suspect's back or shoulder and employ their body weight to maintain control.
However, I will add that we tell officers to stay away from the neck when possible.
The defense has been pointing to videos where Chauvin's knee appears to be at some point on the back or shoulder and maintains drugs, plus Floyd's health killed him. Audio courtesy Court TV. I'm Julie Walker.
China is warning Washington not to boycott the Winter Olympics in Beijing next year. This is AP News. Life expectancy is dropping across Europe. The AP's Charles de Ledesma reports from overseas.
EU agency Eurostat says following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic last year, life expectancy at birth fell in the vast majority of the EU member states, adding that the biggest drop was in Spain, with a loss of 1.6 years compared with 2019. Bulgaria follows with a loss of 1.5 years. And then there's Lithuania, Poland and Romania, which all saw falls of more than one. Denmark and Finland were the only nations to see a rise in life expectancy with 0.1 years. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
GM says it's going to build an electric version of the Silverado pickup truck that will get about 400 miles of range per charge. No word on when it'll be in the dealerships. It'll build the truck in a factory in the Detroit area. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
7:24, time for your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Here's what's happening in real-time traffic. Not looking so bad out there at this hour. Just some Butler Highway, some traffic in the northbound lanes as you get closer to the Tonic Williams Darling Highway roundabout. Glaston Road also looking pretty good just until you get closer to JFK Drive and the roundabout there. South, though, on Samara Butler Highway southbound, in the southbound lanes, you're going to be seeing some traffic there as you get closer to Carmichael Road and Carmichael and Faith Avenue. That junction there looking a bit congested at this time. Elsewhere, we've got pockets along the major intersections like Prince Charles and Fox Hill, Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue, and Wolf Road, Burnett Road, and Village Road, Soldier Road. That's what we're seeing so far. It's your real-time traffic. We'll have another report for you in about an hour. Traffic report brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And at 7:26, we've got another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. We've got tropical moisture that's being pulled across the Bahamas today as high pressure remains the dominant weather feature across the area. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, look for partly sunny and warm conditions with a chance of passing showers, becoming partly cloudy and mild tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy and warm with isolated showers during the daytime, becoming partly cloudy and mild tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. It's about 66 degrees right now and partly cloudy skies in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to a warm 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Getting back down to a cool 59 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius tonight. In your extended outlook, high pressure will remain the dominant weather feature across the country through at least Friday. Tomorrow, Thursday, look for partly sunny and warm conditions with a chance of a shower, becoming fair and warm at night. Friday, partly sunny and warm with a chance of a shower, becoming fair and warm at night again. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Rev. Basketball fans, sign up for Trio and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free. Sign up or upgrade now. Call 601-8992, 601-8992, or email trio@cablebahamas.com to sign up. Rev, you and us together.
Your home is where your heart is, but it's more than just shelter. Your home is your workplace. Your home is school for your kids. Your home is even your happy place where you play. Get the best internet connection wherever you are with blazing fast speeds up to 300 megabits per second for as low as $99.99 and installation within 48 hours. Sign up for any of our fiber packages today and get a chance to win a smart TV plus a free tablet in your second month. Call or WhatsApp 577-SHOP or 424-SHOP and sign up today. Conditions apply.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasanya Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
TF Express Delivery, the Uber for items, packages, and documents. It's the Bahamas' most efficient domestic delivery service. We pick up and deliver for businesses and individuals, and we're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for deliveries anywhere in Nassau. TF Express Delivery, the Uber for items, packages, and documents. Call us today at 815-4628 or visit our website, tfxdelivery.com.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due. Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you will also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to a Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best. Believe in best.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
순간 사로잡혀 단번에 생각에 모든 게 멈춰 Nothing but you and I 뛰는 심장이 말을 듣지 않아 But like this 둘만의 promise 내 곁에 있었죠 사실은 나도 나를 잘 모르지만 그게 나 유일한
That's for our friend who heard all those foreign dialects.
Dialects,
Unsurprisingly.
That's
I don't know what happened there. That's the Korean version of the song we wanted to play. Okay, so welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
It was interesting.
Yeah, man. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Reach about autism in the Bahamas, as it is Autism Awareness Month around the globe. That's coming up in a few minutes. But we continue with what's in the news. And this was announced yesterday from the Minister of National Insurance and the Public Service, Brenda Roll. The Unemployment Assistance Program has been extended. For more on this, take a listen to this report from our Taylor Ferguson.
With thousands still out of work, Minister of Public Service and National Insurance Brenda Roll says government has extended its assistance program for another month. He revealed NIB and government have already spent more than $250 million helping out-of-work Bahamians keep afloat during the pandemic, and that figure is climbing.
We are hopeful that things will get better, and it's looking a little bit better. Government has expended over $150 million on this project so far, and it's roughly costing the government $12 to $15 million a month.
He added NIB has spent another $165 million on unemployment assistance.
So combined, we're talking about nearly $250 million to an assistance program to Bahamians during this pandemic.
In October, weekly unemployment payments were reduced from $150 to $100. Roll says government may have to extend the program again if the current situation does not improve.
On a monthly basis, the Cabinet has been evaluating the process. As you know, the initial program was to end in December, but we have extended it so far up until April.
All right, Taylor Ferguson with that report there. So that's happening along with the food assistance program, which is being extended, as you heard, till the end of June. Okay, so still a long way to go.
Yeah.
And still major challenges with the economy.
Yeah.
So this is why we don't need to take any steps backwards, because we still have so much headwinds.
Correct.
So many headwinds ahead of us, and this is, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have major hotels open. Cruise industry is still completely shut down. So, yeah.
It's going to be a rough year still, right? And this is what the projections have been from the central bank and others, that we likely won't see a real turnaround until at least next year.
Yeah.
So let's hear what you have to say, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, and text us, 422-4796. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Doing well.
Okay, good. And good morning to the nation. Quick point before I get into my point. JJ, please stop calling the radio talking a bunch of nonsense, okay? Yeah, you don't want me insulting you, all right? And so don't call this radio station speaking garbage that you know nothing about, all right? I'm not paid, and I'm not a paid hack. Please stop talking garbage. I'm trying to have respect for you as a senior person, but stop talking garbage.
All right. As we said, we want everybody to stop attacking each other. One of the callers.
No, it's not a matter of attacking, I'm Dwight. Speak fact if you're going to speak. Don't come talking garbage. Otherwise, I will load you up with garbage juice. Okay?
That doesn't sound good.
Anyway, I'm getting to my point. We look at what the minister of the minister with responsibility for national insurance had to say as it relates to the government extending its financial assistance offered through NIB, right? Bahamians are getting around $20 to $25 per week. I mean, come on, man. Is that anything for them to be talking about? Is that any real kind of assistance from the government of the Bahamas, where these are the very same Bahamians who actually pay the money that goes into the government coffers, and who is responsible for paying all these hefty taxes that the government is increasing, like the VAT increase, like the water increase, like the light increase, like the many services that has gone up in cost, in increasing the hardships on the backs of the Bahamian people. And so they're giving the Bahamian people $20, $25 a week, but taxing the hell out of us on the back end. This makes absolutely no sense. And when you look at what the Minister of Health had to say as it relates to the what is it? Testicular? Well, sorry, titular. Anyway, head being prepared to make hard decisions. I mean, where's the rental assistance for Bahamians if he likes to make hard decisions and is not afraid? Where's the mortgage assistance? Where's the freedom of information? Where's the report that is legally binding by the Fiscal Responsibility Council, which they are currently breaking the law and not having that report laid in the House of Assembly so that we can know how our monies have been spent over the last year or two. Since Dorian, what's going on with this government and its incompetence? What's going on with this government with its complete reliance on the Bahamian people going along with allowing them to get away with not being accountable and not being transparent in this country? What is going on with this government? These people have made a decision to they have made a decision unilaterally with employers in this country to furlough Bahamians against the Bahamian people, because the Bahamian people was not even informed of this terrible policy, which is turned around and is actually hurting the Bahamian labor force across the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Why doesn't he make a hard decision and reverse that stupid, dumb, incompetent policy, which was unilaterally made and is hurting the Bahamian people and forcing the Bahamian people to go to NIB, to go on food lines and spend 4 or 5 hours in the boiling hot sun? What is this government dealing with, man? This really is a bunch of nonsense that's going on in our country. Why doesn't he go down to Abaco and provide the infrastructure and provide the utilities that the Abaconians need? Why doesn't he go to Grand Bahama and provide a hospital, provide an oncology center for cancer patients? Why doesn't he go to Grand Bahama and increase the economic opportunities in the environment so that Grand Bahama can...
But Anton, you do realize that everyone's been calling for all these things for decades, right? And successive governments have failed to do all of that.
That's the reason. Problem.
Well, it is a huge problem.
No, Dwight.
Well, where's all this coming from?
You continue every time someone raises a poignant point against this government. You continue to reach back.
All of them.
Try to reach back over 15, 20 years. Dwight, if you continue to do that, do you recognize you are just as big a part of the problem?
You think so, Anton?
Incompetent.
Do you really believe that? Because that's absolute nonsense, right? We have a problem, yes, with what's happening now. Some of what you said is garbage, as you said. You know that. You know that there was nothing that could have been done. This is a global problem. This wasn't just in the Bahamas that someone decided to do this. But also, yes, you're making some great points about the other things that need to be done on the other islands, but they have not been done for decades, and we don't know why either. Yes, we know financially we are not able to do many of those things, but steps could have been made, and they weren't. And we don't know why that has happened, right? We can come up with some theories. But so a lot of people have contributed to where we are today. And a pandemic and hurricanes makes all of that much worse. But you're being disingenuous. Not all of what you said is incorrect. But you know that you are really overplaying your hand. You know this, and you do it every day. You do it every day. And then you try to say, when people call you out on it, that we're trying to defend the government, we are also angry with them. They have lied and told us that they were going to do things and didn't do it. Everybody's upset. But you're adding a lot of things into it that don't need to be there. I'm afraid to take this call. This has been a rough morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Do a little woosah, breathe. Take a breath.
He's rubbing his earlobe right now.
Just woosah. Woosah. Rub your ears and take a deep breath. Just like Dawn. I hope we find a political asylum that he can probably go into after this cycle is over.
That's a good.
Obviously,
I like that.
He's politically, mentally disturbed, so let's forget about that part. But the thing is, to hear the minister of NIB say that the government has spent as assisted in the excess of almost $250 million in various areas. I hear Anton running on with where's the rental assistance and the mortgage. Dwight, it is very hard, difficult, crazy and asinine for me to believe, the father to even think that nobody, not one single Bahamian has received rental assistance, food assistance, mortgage assistance, any kind of assistance from this government to the tune of $250 million. And I get a little like uneasy when I support this government, but am I pleased with every step made? No. A lot of things were done that should have been done differently. Of course, you don't always get it right, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. And you made a good point. Successive governments have not done a lot of these stuff that he was crying shame about. And I think, like you said, it's very disingenuous when you try to levy this on the shoulders of the government when the world itself was brought to their knees. And many of the bigger countries are still on their knees compared to us. Yeah. They have way more resources than us, better hospital care than us. They have more than one hospital, and they could provide for their country much better than we can. But I think we're doing a fairly good job with the pandemic and all things being said. So, I just don't get where Antonio is coming from with all of these different political strategic points that they continue to make on a daily basis as if people are stupid, fool, and like we don't read. But once again, Dwight, you have a wonderful show going, and keep it going, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, let's read some messages, and then we got to take a break. Okay. Somebody says here, there are some jitney drivers who are being irresponsible by allowing folks to step into their buses without masks on, hand sanitization lacking, and they are not seeing to it that folks are seating themselves properly. Furthermore, some of the drivers are not wearing masks. The bus drivers need to do business responsibly, and everybody else needs to do likewise.
It's important.
Another one here. Dwight and Chester, the Prime Minister can come out and make a demand to suspend campaigning, but it will fall on deaf ears. The fall on the deaf ears of the opposition. They had an entire event over the weekend with no social distancing and very little mask wearing. I truly believe they have no intentions of slowing down. If the government was to clamp down, I can see the cry for political persecution or infringement of democracy. Wow, I wonder. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping people would say, okay, fine, we can calm down if we know for sure the election will be next year. But you might, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Well, what if you see that? Then what? What does that mean to you, right? Should that influence where you vote? I don't know. Okay. Thank God for small mercy. Some countries do not give any national insurance benefit, even though the workers contribute. Okay. Morning, Dwight. When you play with Puppy, they lick your mouth. You should have never had him on your show to be your co-host that day. That's not nice. He was very well behaved that day.
So he's right in front of you.
Very well behaved. Okay. Many people who have not contributed anything to NIB have received assistance. The government is doing right by helping, but to make it seem like they are not doing anything is disingenuous. Yes.
That's what it was. True. That's what it was. And if his people were in power, you know what would he have said? The government doesn't have any money.
Right.
You know, we can't. With $250 million, we've done a lot.
We met the coffers empty.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he would have said.
That's what they all do. They all do this. It's the same 9 years. We've been singing the same.
What do you want from us? We've been taking care of people for a year and plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dorian.
Mm-hmm.
And the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell Anton that my tenants receive rental assistance. They've received it twice. Stop talking fool. Mm-hmm. Another one here. Many officers in COVID patrols do not wear masks. As many as 4 in a car without a mask. They're in their bubble. I don't know. I have no idea why that is. That's
the COVID-19 car? Right. Is that what they're talking about?
There can't be any COVID in there.
No.
Nah. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about autism in the Bahamas. And we're talking with the folks from REACH. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Caught in the moment, not even thinking twice. Everything's frozen. Nothing but you and I can't stop my heart from beating. Why do I love this feeling? Make me a promise. Tell me you'll stay with me. If I'm being honest, I don't know where this leads, but that's the only question. Baby, don't keep me guessing. You are my muse. I feel so reckless. Oh, you're making me give it. Oh, baby, I can't feel the rush of adrenaline. I'm not scared to jump if you want to. Let's just fall in love for the hell of it. Maybe just keep falling. I can't feel the rush of adrenaline. I'm not scared to jump 'cause I want you. Let's just fall in love for the hell of it. Maybe just keep falling when I'm around you.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
TF Express Delivery, the Uber for items, packages, and documents. It's the Bahamas' most efficient domestic delivery service. We pick up and deliver for businesses and individuals, and we're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for deliveries anywhere in Nassau. TF Express Delivery, the Uber for items, packages, and documents. Call us today at 815-4628 or visit our website, tfxdelivery.com.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due. Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you will also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes, including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
So sad, the tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through, 'cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess could make me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. We're changing gears now. April is Autism Awareness Month, and we are talking about autism in the Bahamas today. Very pleased to be joined by folks from REACH, including Chairman Dwayne Gibson, along with Marcus Bosland and Deshaun Saunders. Great to have you all with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight and Chester.
Good morning.
All right, so let's begin with, for those who might not be familiar, give us some details about REACH, what this organization is all about.
Well, Dwight and Chester, REACH has been around since 1999. It's an advocacy and support group for parents and children who have come in contact with autism and related challenges. Our primary goal is to advocate and to bring awareness and acceptance of this condition in our Commonwealth. And we seek to impact policy and change so that our children can have a brighter future.
All right, impact policy and change. Let's talk about that. Have you had success with that? How has that been a difficult road? What have we been able to achieve?
It's been a challenging road, but we've had some successes, of course. What we have done over the years is we've improved, or at least the government has elected to increase classrooms at the primary level, at the high school level, and at the preschool level. We have more classes. We continue to have legislation which assist in accepting the disabled as a whole, and including the autism community. Right now, the government has, for our organization, and you'll hear a little bit more about that later tonight at our Lighted Up Blue ceremony, they have been able to give us funds, to give us land and money to bring greater awareness and to hopefully provide a facility which would allow for our children to operate from. So we've seen some growth over the years, although not as much as most of our members and our community would like.
Wow. I know every year we talk with you all and we ask this question, but do we have any firm numbers as to the number of people with autism in the Bahamas?
Yeah, we're not at the moment capturing that data. That's something that we'd like to do. I do think Dr. Saunders can speak to what she sees on a monthly basis in that regard.
All right.
Dr.
So, in basis of your question, we are starting to do research on getting our numbers. But if we look back in the 1970s, there was approximately 1 in 10,000 children being diagnosed with autism. And let's move forward to 2021. It's now 1 in 54 children. And so if we were to look at our live births in the Bahamas, we have approximately 5,000 live births. And if we're looking at 1 in 54, that's about 100 children per year. Our kids are usually picked up during the first 2 years of life. And so most of them we would see between the ages of 2 and 3. And because of COVID, which is an interesting point, because parents now had to stay home with their children, schools were closed, parents now have started to observe their kids and realize that a lot of the kids were not talking, a lot of the kids had behavioral issues, a lot of hypersensitivities. And so because of that, we're now also seeing increasing numbers. So we don't have an exact figure, but our numbers presently in the Bahamas are high.
Are there any similarities, any common characteristics with the young people that we're seeing, the children that we're seeing?
Yeah, so some of the things that we're seeing, and one of the main things that parents bring their children for is nonverbal. So by the age of 2, a child should have at least 50 to 100 words, speaking in 2-word sentences. And some parents are noting that their kids are nonverbal, meaning that they don't have a conversation, they're unable to speak. Some kids have hypersensitivity issues. So in terms of foods, they're not picky eaters. They're smelling the food. They're tasting the food. They would even put non-animate things. So for instance, they would put a pencil in their mouth or put things that a regular child wouldn't do, or they would smell everything. So before you give them a toy to play, they would smell the toy. A lot of kids are presenting with toe walking, hand flapping. And so these are some of the common things that we see at the initial presentation. But the big concern for most parents is the fact that the child is nonverbal. The child may not be able to point, to request things. So they're using your hand, or kids not looking at you. So those are the main things that we see commonly with the initial presentation of our children.
All right. And deeper than that, though, I mean, are we seeing anything, I don't know how to ask this, in terms of maybe common characteristics with the parents? I don't know, age groups or anything like that? Any other patterns emerging?
Okay, so that goes into etiology and what's the cost. There is no exact cost. And so Autism affects no age in terms of parents. It affects no racial group. It affects no ethnic group. It affects no financial class. And so it's something that we're seeing in all age groups. They have done studies that shown that there's an increased risk of autism in advanced paternal age. So fathers that may be a little older, 55 and above, and having children at a late age. But there is no specific character. These kids look normal. As a baby, they are fine. They're developing normally. And as they come closer to the 12-month, 18-month mark, that is when you start to see regression in milestones. So meaning the child may have been able to say mama, dada before they regress. So there's no specific character when you look at the parents. Nothing.
So there's no, it seems like over the years, the amount of children presenting with autism has increased. Is there a concern that that trend is going to continue? Or?
So I think the reason that we now see an increase in the number of children is now a clearer diagnostic path.
Okay.
In the past, when children were slow, they were all put into a category of mental retardation or being slow. Mm-hmm. But as the years have moved on, you're actually now able to observe behaviors, observe their development, and you're actually now able to come up with a diagnosis. And so because of that, that is, I think, why the reason the numbers have increased, because you're not able to classify the difference between a child that has some intellectual disability versus a child that has autism.
Understood.
I would say this, though, studies are ongoing. They're looking at environmental changes to see, if there's anything that in the environment or anything that may be triggering the numbers. But we are seeing an increased number.
Wow. Now, you mentioned the last year, the pandemic, and the ability to access resources. What impact did that have on the parenting children with autism?
Well, from the standpoint of reach, obviously we had to suspend all of the activities we would normally have. We usually would gather in our parent support meetings every month. We would put on a summer program. That did not happen. We would have back to school soiree. That did not happen. The December events did not happen. Everyone was on lockdown. Our students could not attend school. It was obviously a very frustrating period, not just for typical kids, but for non-typical, non-verbal kids in our community. Yeah. And it led to a lot of frustration and just disappointment that there was no end in sight. Both Marcus and I are fathers, and our kids are of similar age and attend the same school. And having the children at home was very uncomfortable for them. The strange thing is, on the spectrum, you have a range of behavior. My son is sedentary; he doesn't really move around that much, and so although the pandemic was going on, he was fine for the most part with behavior, but being at home, he wound up eating a lot of things, not feeling very well. We had to put him on some probiotics and some other matters to get the behavior back in line. So every child was different, and just being home and not having the opportunity to interact and get tired and then go to sleep just wasn't available. And so I think a lot of our parents just suffered in that regard. The good news for us was that we were able as an organization to look at social media, look at the social platforms. There was a lot of communication on WhatsApp. People shared their stories about what they were experiencing, and that gave a little bit of hope until matters started to open up for us as a whole.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to hear more from you, Dwight and Marcus, when we get back after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
2021, and you're listening to the Guardian News Network Morning Report. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news. Health officials are concerned some unauthorized social gatherings over the Easter holiday weekend could cause a further spike in COVID-19 cases. Health Minister Ren Ward-Wells warns the Prime Minister is not afraid to make tough decisions when it comes to tightening COVID restrictions if necessary. Jasmine Brown reports.
There's lots of concern among the health officials as to the increase in numbers, the increase in hospitalization. The Prime Minister, you would remember, said at the airport when we were receiving the vaccines from PAHO. The media sort of put a little cliche in there, say the Prime Minister say, behave yourself. And he was saying that because, in actual fact, he was asking the Bahamian people during the course of this holiday to exercise additional due diligence.
However, Wells says based on the videos that circulated over the holidays, it's clear not everyone heeded the Prime Minister's advice. For that reason, health officials will keep a close eye on COVID numbers over the next 2 weeks.
There was lots of activity on lots and lots of activity. And so we are hoping that at the end of the day, what we saw does not inure to increasing numbers. In 14 days, there's the potential for greater numbers.
Wells says they are also concerned over a spike in COVID cases last month. When asked if the Ministry of Health has recommended that restrictions be tightened, Wells said this.
We're going to have to look at those measures, look at the health protocols. And obviously, the Prime Minister is an individual who is never afraid to make hard choices and decisions. And so at the end of the day, we'll look at the data that we're seeing.
COVID cases nearly doubled in March, with 613 cases reported, according to Ministry of Health data. According to the COVID-19 dashboards, 336 cases were reported in January and 335 cases were reported in February. Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Wells says more than 10,000 people in this country have now received their first dose of the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine. That rollout program resumes today on New Providence and Grand Bahama. He says government is also working on speeding up its rollout to meet demand and still seeking to procure more vaccines, possibly from Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. With thousands of people still out of work due to the pandemic, government has decided to extend its assistance program for another month. Minister for National Insurance Brensel Roll also confirmed that to date, government has spent more than $250 million supporting out-of-work Bahamians, and that figure is growing.
We are hopeful that things will get better, and it's looking a little bit better. Government has expended over $150 million on this project so far, and it's roughly costing the government $12 to $15 million a month.
He said NIB spent another $165 million on unemployment assistance.
So combined, we're talking about nearly $250 million to an assistance program to Bahamians during this pandemic.
Roll admitted another extension to the program may be necessary if the economy does not improve.
On a monthly basis, the Cabinet has been evaluating the process. As you know, the initial program was to end in December, but we have extended it so far up until April.
Well, 2 men suspected of smuggling $3.1 million worth of cocaine into Eleuthera last week were arraigned in court yesterday. Bethany McDermott was in court and has the details.
Brandon Miller, along with Johnny Emile, both pleaded not guilty to conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with the intent to supply and conspiracy to import dangerous drugs. Prosecutors allege that sometime between March 22nd and 29th, the pair conspired to possess dangerous drugs, namely cocaine, with the intent to supply. Their arrest followed a $3.1 million drug bust on Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, on March 29th. The discovery came as a result of a joint operation between several law enforcement agencies. According to police, the team conducted a surveillance operation in the vicinity of Governor's Harbor's airstrip, which resulted in the discovery of 6 duffel bags in bushes. A further inspection of the bags revealed a white powdery substance suspected to be cocaine. In court today, Miller, who was represented by attorney Jomo Camel, was also slapped with 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply and 1 count of importation of dangerous drugs. It is alleged that on March 29th, while at Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, and being concerned with another, the 28-year-old was found with a quantity of suspected cocaine and did import the drugs into the Bahamas. He pleaded not guilty to the charges. Miller was granted $10,000 bail with 2 sureties. But it was a different case for Emile, who has a previous drug-related conviction dating back to 2019. His attorney, Tamara Taylor Storr, requested to make an application for bail, which Deputy Chief Magistrate Andrew Forbes said will be heard on April 12th. Both men will return to court on September 1st for trial. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Bethany McDermott.
Also making an appearance before the court yesterday was a religious leader accused of making slanderous claims against the Commissioner of Police. Carl Joaquin has that.
50-year-old Apostle Julian Johnson walked into the magistrate's court complex handcuffed and shackled free. This as he prepared to stand before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt. Johnson was arraigned on one count of intentional libel. Prosecutors allege that sometime in March, Johnson recorded himself on video, accusing Police Commissioner Paul Roll of sexually assaulting some female members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Prosecutors argue that he also posted it to his Facebook page. In court, the apostle pleaded not guilty, but when asked if there was an objection to bail, the prosecution asked that it be deferred, as she only received the file minutes before the arraignment. Johnson's attorney, Jomo Campbell, argued that his client had no previous incidents on his record, walked into CDU by himself Tuesday morning at 9, and that a deferral of a bail decision would be a pre-trial punishment. The magistrate, taking into consideration the prosecution's wish to review the file, transferred the bail decision to Deputy Chief Magistrate Andrew Forbes until Wednesday morning, as she has to travel for work. That means the apostle will be on remand until then. Meanwhile, 3 members of the cloth showed up to support Johnson, including singing Bishop Lawrence Rowe.
So we still is a body. There still is the church. We wasn't called into selfishness, but selflessness. I don't see me. I see God.
Roll says despite being criticized by Johnson last year, he has since forgiven him and the two have made amends. He said today was about showing love and support and that he hopes other religious leaders learn from this.
Members need to understand we must be careful what we're speaking in the pulpit in this season. But there's a whole lot of books you can preach from Genesis to Revelation. Yes, sir. Preach the word in season and out of season. And let us be careful what we're saying in God's holy pulpit.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Stay with us, there's more news after the break.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy, the one with the dogs?
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. That's Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Give me my pizza right away. Daddy move quick, no time to wait. No long lines inside the place. Little Caesars, I love the taste. Hot and ready. Just come now, you don't have to call, now you don't have to wait. Hot and ready. Large pepperoni, $7.99 every day. Hot and ready. Oh, yeah. Straight out the oven and freshly made. Hot and ready. Little Caesars is hot and ready. Little Caesars is. Get yours now at Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, and now East Street South, Pineapple Plaza. Pizza, pizza.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Spring to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets for specials like Best Value Corn, 15-ounce can, 85 cents. Kellogg's Family Size Cereal, 19-ounce to 24-ounce, $4.99. Boneless chuck steak or roast, $5.99 per pound. Hellmann's Mayonnaise, 30-ounce jar, $4.99. Smoked picnic hams, $1.69 per pound. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Double stamps on Sundays at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Peter the Peanut Peddler bust up in sunrise that day and start hollering, "Airy nuts! Airy nuts!" So Bullock say, when your nuts that airy, just need one injection in your midsection and that over. Peter say, "Rank!" Today I got dark brown, light brown, light brown, and white. See him here. Bella, as usual, Miss Wallace only did hear the last part of our conversation and get confused right up. She say, "We don't do no colorization and no nuts here. This a watch shop. Carry that freshness someplace else." And now Peter the Peanut Peddler, he in charge of peanut peddling for the whole of Montrose Avenue.
Sunil's Watch and Clock, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watch and Clock sales and repairs, and sometimes peanuts too.
Cancer is smart. It pushes us. We push back. Challenging conventional thinking, finding smarter solutions. That's what makes Cancer Treatment Centers of America one of the leaders in precision cancer treatment. using tools like advanced genomic testing and immunotherapy to bring more options to our patients. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. We're not just fighting cancer anymore. We're outsmarting it. Visit cancercenter.com/outsmart to learn more.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Business travel just got easier with the Alive Corporate Business Plan. Check your messages, check on the staff, or simply keep your emails in check. When traveling on business, you'll have the confidence in managing your office, staying in touch with your team, vendors, and customers. You can roam like you've never left your office with the all-new suite of Alive Liberty Executive Plans. For more information, contact the experts at Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Call 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands today.
Welcome back. Former MP Alfred Sears is hoping for a political rebirth, challenging to regain his old seat in Fort Charlotte for the PLP at the next general election. Bethany McDermott reports.
After losing his seat in the 2017 general election and a bid for party leader in 2016, former cabinet minister Alfred Sears is hopeful that one day he will be leader of the PLP or even prime minister.
I mean, this is not the time to be talking about leadership because we're not in a convention. But of course, I still have the interest to serve the party. And, I don't think God finished with me yet, man, okay?
During the PLP convention in November 2016, Sears boldly threw his hat in the ring for party leader, but was defeated by former Prime Minister Perry Christie. Despite this, Sears said he is still committed to the PLP's philosophy.
The party is a democratic organization, and I am committed to the philosophy of the party. And like any human construct, it's not perfect, but it is the engine of social economic transformation.
Sears is again vying for the Fort Charlotte constituency. During the 2017 general election, Sears lost to political newcomer Mark Humes by 537 votes. He says he sees this as his opportunity to pass on the generosity that was given to him as a child.
I am the beneficiary of so much generosity in society. I come from the bottom. From the time I was in the Boys Industrial School, people intervened. They weren't related to me that I knew of, but they believed that this boy had something that needed to be developed. This is my opportunity now, today, to pass it forward.
The former Attorney General and Education Minister added that he has served the country with integrity and has the experience to get the job done. He touted the work he did during his time in office.
I promised that I would build a community center, and that community center would be an outreach for the community. That community center has been built, and for 19 years, I have helped to maintain the community center. We have had summer camps every summer except last year because of the pandemic.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Bethany McDermott.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Don't wait for disaster to strike. This hurricane season, be ready. Protect your home with an affordable and comprehensive home insurance policy from Shield Insurance. You can't control what nature blows your way, but with Shield Insurance, you can rest easy as you ride out the storm. Protect your largest and most valuable investment. Don't take a chance. Put your home in our hands.
Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
At Apex Award Signs and Engraving, the name says it all. The country's trusted name for trophies, plaques, corporate seals, rubber stamps, badges, bumper stickers, traffic and street signs, keychains, t-shirts, interior signs, restaurant menus, and so much more. Apex Awards Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue in Wilton Street. Open 9 to 5 Monday to Friday and 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Visit the website at apexawardsbahamas.com. Apex Awards Signs and Engraving, number 1 in the Bahamas.
Until the 21st of June, Pinda Enterprises will be offering weekly or bi-monthly specials. After that, big things are going to be happening with Pinda Enterprises, beginning April 6th and running through April 9th. When you buy £3 of any nail, you get £1 free. The offer, however, does not apply to case purchases. So let me put this in perspective for you. If you need £9 a nail, you end up with £12 a nail, but you only can pay for £9. I don't care how you cut that. That's a good deal at Pinda Enterprises through April 9th.
Put some spring back in your step with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Mullis Ready Cut Macaroni, 16-ounce box, $1.99. Rainbow Evaporated Milk, large can, 98 cents. Bluebird Juices, 46-ounce size, $2.99. Danish Spare Ribs, $2.59 per pound. Idaho Potatoes, 5-pound bag, $2.99. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Double stamps on Sundays at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Why do foreigners continue to benefit from our natural resources, but Bahamians are constantly held back? When is the government going to come clean about the Sovereign Wealth Fund, which politicians have said will raise money for Bahamians from natural resources? Never, because there will never be 1 penny paid to any Bahamian. If oil is found by BPC, our gas prices will not go down. Our electricity bills will not go down. Which politicians are benefiting from BPC's oil deal? Sign the petition at StopBahamasOilDrilling.com. Hashtag no drill, no spill.
This traffic report.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 4224796. And now at 8:19, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got tropical moisture that's being pulled across the area as high pressure remains the dominant feature across the Bahamas. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, your forecast calls for partly sunny and warm conditions with a chance of passing showers, becoming partly cloudy and mild tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, partly cloudy to cloudy and warm with isolated showers today, becoming partly cloudy and mild tonight. Temperature-wise, we're looking at highs getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 59 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will remain the dominant weather feature across the area through at least Friday. So for tomorrow, Thursday, look for partly sunny and warm conditions with a chance of a shower. Fair and warm at night. Pretty much the same for Friday. Partly sunny and warm with a chance of a shower, becoming fair and warm at night. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us. And at 8:21, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, we are seeing heavy traffic on Smilebelt Highway. That's from north of Fire Trail all the way up in the northbound lanes to Tonique-Williams-Darling Highway. Gladstone Road looking a little bit better for you, but you will see congestion as you head in the northbound lane towards JFK Drive this morning. Blue Hill Road, also a hot spot today, just north of Soldier Road. Northbound lane heading towards the Independence Drive roundabout. And further south on Blue Hill Road, also the nearer you get to Carmichael Road, in the northbound lanes you'll be seeing congestion there. Got a little bit of building traffic on Independence Drive, the westbound lanes heading towards that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. And further east, we are seeing pockets along Prince Charles Drive, so Prince Charles and Fox Hill Road, and Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue, and Prince Charles and Soldier Road, and then Robinson Road and the intersection with Marathon and East-West Highway. Also, we've got Soldier Road, Bernard Grove Road, Village Road, and Wolf Road. That intersection is looking pretty busy this morning. And we've got pockets along East Bay Street, closer you get to the old Paradise Island Bridge, and southbound off that bridge, Mackey Street, as you get to the intersection with Shirley Street. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic in your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy, the one with the dogs?
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. That's Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau on East Bay, West Bay, Old Fort Bay, and Palmdale, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
Believe in best.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Why you look so sad? The tears are in your eyes.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. We are talking about autism in the Bahamas. We are talking with Reach Bahamas. We've got Dwayne Gibson and Marcus Buzzland, and we've got Dr. Deshaun Saunders. Marcus, you were about to talk, or you're about to tell us your story, and Dwayne will come back to you with more on your stories as well. We know we've had you on before, all of you on before, but let's talk some more about your experience.
Sure, fantastic. Thank you very much, Dwight. I'm here both as a proponent of Reach and an advocate of the good work that they do in the community, and as a representative of Kalina Insurance. This month, which is Autism Awareness Month, Kalina has decided to adopt a number of initiatives that are in support of raising awareness of the autistic community and granting some support to Reach. We've made a donation of $10,000 to Reach as part of our commitment to health and wellness. We think Reach does excellent outreach to parents and caregivers within the autistic community. To my knowledge, all of Reach's programs are free, and they're excellent. I participated most recently in a program they had last month, which was excellent. Kalina's employees have also purchased T-shirts and will be proudly wearing them on Fridays during the month of April. That's a great way, we think, to increase awareness of autism, certainly within the company and for all of the personnel, the clients who visit our offices. And we've also done a blue light display at our head offices at 308 East Bay. It's going to be lit up blue. I got some pictures of it last night. It looks beautiful, actually. And it's all in part of our desire to support and highlight the autistic community. And as a parent of an autistic child myself, I'm very proud of the company's efforts and prouder of the association with Reach.
Wow. Tell us about your son. Tell us about what this journey has been like for you.
Sure. I mean, in some regards, my son is a typical 12-year-old. He's very active. He loves being outdoors. Fairly athletic. He's a pretty good swimmer. And he loves his bigger brother. But he's nonverbal. Outside of a few noises. So he says the word no very clearly, but most words he can't handle. He does handle dada on occasion, and he has a few names that he calls his mom and his older brother, but he's otherwise nonverbal. He's learned to communicate basic things using an iPad, where he can select certain things, like he can give personal greetings. He can tell you if he wants to eat food or use the restroom or little things like that. But functionally, his communication skills are quite poor. That does pose a number of challenges for him. My wife and I are his primary caregivers. We have to do things for him even at 12 that I think in most families they won't have to think about, like bathing him and brushing his teeth and helping him with his clothes, even though he's gotten much better with dressing himself recently. But the reality for us is that our son is going to need constant care. And that means, and what Reach has done for us in that regard, firstly, it's taught us that we're not alone. That there are a lot of other people in the community facing not necessarily the same exact issues, because autism is a spectrum disease and it affects different people differently. But they face very similar issues. And Reach has given us some of the tools and techniques to learn more about how to take care of our son. And at the end of the day, we want for him what every parent wants for their children. We want him to be happy and healthy and as productive as he can possibly be. And it requires a bit of a mental shift in that I think every parent comes into parenthood with a certain set of expectations. And with a disabled son, you have to change those expectations, but still recognize that the job remains the same. You have to do what is best for your kid. And that just means, and what's best for your kid is just going to look very different than it would look for a typical kid. Certainly, having a disabled child of any kind, and certainly a child with autism, can be very costly. You can't put a kid like that in a classroom with 40 other kids and expect them to function. So it does require additional resources. And for parents who don't have those resources, there aren't that many avenues to get it from the community. And Reach is certainly one of them. And that's part of why me and my wife got involved with Reach quite a number of years ago. And I think for us, it has helped transform our lives and our son's life.
Well, and Dwayne, you were telling us about your son, he's 17 years old. Are you concerned about what adulthood is going to mean for him? He's getting so close.
Yeah, very much so, Dwight. And it's, my wife and I always joke around that none of us can pass away. We just can't die because we have to be around for our son. But it is something that we think about constantly, and we're attempting to put measures in place to address that. And it's so funny, Marcus just mentioned that he very much enjoyed our last parent support meeting, and we were very, very blessed to have had Sean McQueenie QC come in virtually, and he spoke about estate planning and future planning for the disabled, and in particular for children on the spectrum. And I was able to learn a lot even as an attorney. And so yes, we think about that and we plan, because our children need to be independent. My son is 17 years old. He's like 6'2". He's tall. He is athletic. It's going to come a point in time where physically I'm just not going to be able to manage him, and he has to have the skills to operate outside of his parents and his siblings. And so yes, we think about that constantly, and that's why it's so important to get the vocational training in, to let him acquire more and more skills, because as Marcus spoke about, there's still a lot of matters that we have to attend to that we shouldn't have to attend to, but because of this disorder we're faced with.
Does that Reach support extend into adulthood, and do you have success stories and people with autism who have successfully transitioned into adulthood?
I think we do. We may not hear a lot about them right now. At the moment, as I said before, we've been around since 1999.
Dwayne, I don't know what happened. You got a little muted there, muffled.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Much better. Yeah.
Right. So as I indicated before, we've been around since 1999, and we don't have a lot of known kids who are maybe in their 20s and 30s that we can reference. Mm-hmm. And so we're creating our own stories right now. Right. My son is 17. He was diagnosed at 2. So, in a couple more years, he's going to be in his 20s, and we'll see where he is. And I think others will have to just watch and grow with their child.
Right. Yeah. Dr. Deshaun Saunders, what other things do parents need to keep in mind, especially as they have adolescents who are becoming adults, heading into adulthood? Any special things that they need to keep in mind at that stage?
Correct. So as adolescents, parents have to keep in mind, because some of our autistic kids are challenged, they are at risk for abuse. And so they need to ensure that the persons that they have taking care of their kids, that they trust the people, because remember, a lot of these kids are nonverbal, and so they're not able to say if something happened. And so that is something that parents have to bear in mind. Also, in terms of kids and their adolescence, they may, not to say may, puberty takes a part, and they may have sexual urges. So some kids may masturbate and do other things. And so parents have to be aware of that and the challenges that poses on some of our developmentally challenged kids. And also in terms of vocations, because some of the kids may not be able to function in mainstream school. And so very limited, but some of our government schools have vocational programs where they teach these kids farming, sometimes computer learning and other things like that. And so parents have to be aware that as these kids get older, they may change in terms because of puberty. They may become a little bit more aggressive. And so they need to be unsure that they are understanding of this.
Yeah. We've got some calls coming in and some text messages. You can text us 422-4796 and 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Here's a text. Somebody saying, is there testing for adults that may have not been diagnosed as a child? Is that even possible? I see some traits in my adult son that indicate that I might have missed something, and getting him help as a child. He copes, but I think he needs help. Is that possible, or is that another learning disorder possibly there?
So there is testing. At that age, they would have to go through a clinical psychologist who would be able to evaluate. And to be honest, there are some kids that have been missed with the diagnosis in childhood because they were verbal, they were functioning. They may have had some social peculiar stuff, so they may not have had a lot of friends. They're the ones you call the loners. But there is testing available. To what age the clinical psychologist would take their testing, I'm not sure, but there is still that option possibly available.
Wow. Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, your guests in studio. Must say that I'm very inspired and awed by the various stories by all of the persons who are presenting this morning. I have three very, very quick questions here, and I'm just going to ask them and then have you answer after I've hung up. Firstly, in terms of nutrition for autistic children, is there any specific regiment that they follow, seeing that some kids may be prone to not eating some foods, whereas there are some foods that may not be good for them, that may be affecting their autism at this point? Secondly, I'd like to ask, in terms of education, I've seen that in the States there were some stories out where they said that autistic children really they found very, very successful in certain environments, such as like really intense analytical accounting or finances or something like that, or even trying to figure things out like the Rubik's Cube, how quickly they can get past it. Has there been any studies locally here to that level? My last question then would be in terms of quality of what type of support have you been getting from the aspect of financing and funding from a government program or anything like that? Is anything like that put in place outside of the public funding that perhaps REACH and I think there's one other organization may be depending on? Thank you for taking my questions. I look forward to your answers and continue the great work. Thank you, Dwight.
Okay. All right. Hope you all remember all of those. I think one of the questions, it sounds like we know there's a spectrum, Asperger's, of highly functioning autistic individuals. Do we know any idea how many of the folks here might fit into that category?
Okay, we don't have our exact numbers, but as we know, autism is a spectrum, and so it involves different disorders. So you're correct, Asperger's. These are persons who may be gifted. They are very intelligent, and they perform well in school. And so a lot of these persons may not even be diagnosed. And so they do very well, but as I said, there's a social issue with them. And he is correct. These kids can go on to be engineers, IT specialists, because they're very analytical. And so they're very good with maths and they're very good with puzzles, but there's no specific program that is presently geared to this group of persons. So they usually go through regular schools. So they're not really in a special classroom per se, able to function educationally, but it's just they may have some social impairments in reference to that.
Yep.
His second question in reference to diet, there's really no specific diet that you can put a child who is autistic on. There are some persons that prescribe to vitamins to help with that. There are some persons who prescribe to a gluten-free diet, but these things are still out, so there's no clear-cut guideline to say that there's a specific diet that these children should be on. And you're correct, they're very picky. And some kids only eat certain colored foods. Some kids only eat certain textured foods. And so it's a challenge for most parents starting off in terms of ensuring that their kids get an adequate diet. And I'll let Dwayne answer the last question.
Yeah.
On the question regarding
government
funds and services, we are able on an annual basis to receive from the Ministry of Social Services a grant that we apply for. We have been very fortunate in the last 12 months to have received a larger grant from that grouping of around $50,000, which we are earmarking to attempt to get a speech therapist in here to assist our organization free of charge. As Mark has indicated before, every service that we offer, from any therapies, from the summer camp to any giveaways that we have, usually in the month of Easter, we have a lot of different things going on, Easter egg hunts and just various giveaways. Everything is free. And so with those funds coming in, we want to do something dynamic for our group, because at the end of the day, although we know that the government is charged with ensuring that all students get education, all our students struggle in that regard to access classes and to get therapy. And so we want to do a little bit more, but we would need funds for that. And we're on the way to acquiring more funds. We're very, very pleased that Kalina has come forward during these very, very difficult times to give us that donation. And we're hopeful that others will hear our story and come forward as well.
Right. Dwayne, you mentioned it before earlier about the Light It Up. Well, tell us about that. What's going to be happening tonight?
Sure. So tonight, every April 2nd is World Autism Day, where we recognize our community. We were not able to celebrate it a few days ago because it was Good Friday. Tonight we're going to have a drive-through ceremony where we're going to be talking a little about what we've done so far over the last 12 months, what we expect to happen. We're going to have the Prime Minister give an address, the Minister of Education give an address. We are going to honor some of our very, very seasoned volunteers who have been with us for so long. And we're just going to celebrate our children. And so it's going to be for an hour. It's not going to be streamed, but I would invite as many people as possible because it's going to be on the Queen's Council soccer field, their pitch. We have a lot of parking. And I think you will hear a lot about what we're trying to do, what we've done, and what the commitment of the government has been. So that's tonight, 6:30 to 7:30. Please just come out. If you wish to support our organization more, you can contact our REACH office at 328-4123. We have a full-time administrator in there. We're selling T-shirts. You'll hear about information where students can go for different therapies and services. And of course, just follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Wonderful stuff. The work that you're doing is unbelievable. Thank you so much for that. And keep us posted. Dwayne Gibson, Marcus Bosland, and Dr. Deshaun Saunders. Happy Autism Awareness Month to you, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Dwight.
Thank you for having us.
All right. We're going to take a break and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Why you look so sad? tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through. 'Cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess could make me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasanya Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Imagine. That's where every advancement begins, with an idea that things can be different, better, now. Imagine a world where your entertainment experience was all about you, your style, your show, at your budget. At Rev, that's what we've imagined. To join the conversation and learn more about the future of Rev TV, visit us at rev.bs/imagine.
Are you tired of that boring 9-to-5? Do you need a new and exciting career? Visit the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, where your passion can become your profession. Let us introduce you to a career in information technology, cosmetology, construction, office administration, auto mechanics, electronics, and more. Say goodbye to that 9-to-5 and hello to the possibilities. Call us today at 502-6338. Apply by November 16, 2020.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is a story that my daddy told me about one of the many fishing trips that he used to take as a young man growing up on the island. And as we sat on a porch overlooking the sea, he took a puff on his pipe and he said to me, "Son, this is how it used to be. Imagine. The sun is rising on a beautiful morning. I jump in my boat and crank up my engine. I got my old fish nets and my crawfish traps, my corn cup pipe and my big straw hat. I got a pitcher full of switcher in the old ice cooler, some green seal rum and about 6 slam bomb. Got my fishing line and come slap for bait, heading for the banks, man, I just can't wait. La la le la le, la la le la le, la la le la le, it's gonna be a great day. La la le la le.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Just a reminder that Lighted Up Blue event is tonight, 6:30 p.m. at Queens College campus. Queens College. Yeah. All right. So we talked about it yesterday, and since then there's been a response now from the Chinese. Yesterday we talked about the U.S. general, who giving a report to the Senate, highlighting, which is not new, concerns about China's growing influence in the Caribbean region, including the Bahamas. And he pointed out some of the things they do, infrastructure promises, and
this conversation is nothing new.
Nothing new at all. Yeah. But he was just giving an update, I guess. And so, yeah, here we go again. All right, so China now is responding, and they're very actively responding to all these things. There's lots of hits coming at China from all over Europe and Australia and the U.S., and they are responding actively to all of them. So China hits back over U.S. concerns, is the headline in the National Guardian today. And the embassy official says Caribbean should not become an arena for major power competition. Our Jasper Ward writing about this today. A Chinese embassy official yesterday called on the United States to stop finger-pointing about China's involvement in the Bahamas and to do more to improve vaccine accessibility for developing countries, create jobs, and protect the livelihoods of locals. And the embassy spokesperson saying in a statement, quote, "In the spirit of building a community with a shared future for mankind, China has assisted the Bahamas in post-hurricane reconstruction and in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. We will soon provide another batch of medical supplies to this country in the context of the ongoing pandemic. It is all the more disappointing to hear such negative comments about China-Bahamas cooperation. Instead of finger-pointing, it would be much better to do more for vaccine accessibility for developing countries and for helping to create jobs and protect the livelihood of the local people. These are the real concerns of people in this region." The statement came after the National Guardian reported that on March 16th, while testifying before the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee, General Glenn Van Herk, who serves as U.S. Air Force Commander for the U.S. Northern Command, U.S. NORTHCOM, and North American Aerospace Defense Command, he warned that China is attempting to use influence in the Bahamas by offering large-scale economic investments and material support for infrastructure projects. Now, the Chinese embassy is denying these assertions, saying that China has been committed to developing friendly and cooperative relations with Caribbean countries on the basis of mutual benefit. The statement saying, quote, "China has no intention to pursue geopolitical advantage in the region, nor seeks to replace anyone's predominance in any part of the world." The remarks quoted in the National Guardian report show a tendency of viewing the Caribbean as a backyard that no one else should get involved in. This is a reflection of typical Cold War mentality. The Caribbean region should not become an arena for major power competition, and regional countries should not be forced into a position of having to take sides.
Well, there you have it.
That's a very nice statement.
Yes, it is.
I agree. Well, look at that. He said cooperation between China and Caribbean countries is grounded on mutual benefit and mutual needs. He said relevant investment and cooperation by Chinese companies were carried out on the basis of an equal footing and consistent with commercial principles and local laws and regulations. The projects that China has participated in have played a, quote, "positive role in improving livelihoods and creating jobs for local people." And several of the projects come from the Bahamas' good relations with China. They mentioned the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, well, I guess, or we're mentioning maybe, that this was a gift. And the Airport Gateway Expressway, constructed by a Chinese company using China's low-interest loan. Bahamar, one of the largest private employees owned by a Chinese entity. Are they still owned by the Chinese entity?
Yes.
They're still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as is the point, in downtown
They're
Nassau.
talking about Chow Tai Fook,
not CC.
Right.
Okay, there you go. Well, I mean, is that, you count that? I guess, sure.
Well, when
sure.
you talk about China, everything
everything
leads
is
to the top.
okay.
Yeah.
No, well, okay. So, and the North Abaco port was also built by the Chinese, and the development of China-Caribbean relations does not target or exclude any third party. This is a quote, "Quite the contrary. Many of the projects in the Bahamas constructed by Chinese companies use design, equipment, and materials from the U.S., are managed by American companies, and enjoyed by American tourists, too. All parties are winners in such cooperation."
I love it.
No, this is me now, not the Bahamas is your canvas.
I still love it.
Come and paint all over us.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay.
It's not just the Bahamas.
Yeah.
It's all across the Caribbean.
All the little countries. All the little countries in the Caribbean.
Jamaica has a beautiful highway. I must say, it's beautiful.
Yes. It's cut down the amount of time to get from Mo Bay to Kingston. Right? Why fly? They're flying on the highway. Right?
That's right.
Right? We could use some super highways here.
Yeah.
And super jet or bullet trains.
There's the idea for America. You want to invest in that? How about that,
the road infrastructure here is disgraceful, right? We could use a major superhighway in Providence. We could find some creative ways to get to the other islands, maybe, right?
You could tickle the bottom of our feet again.
That's what we really need.
With something.
Better airports. We need hospitals.
Come on down.
We need hospitals everywhere.
Come on down.
This is the time, right? Who's our best friend? Who's our best friend today?
No need for a power struggle.
Right. We need both of you.
We need all you.
Everybody. Japan, come too.
We need the Chinese stadium to be renovated. You want to do that?
We could put another one somewhere else.
Yeah.
Ragged Island needs dramatic help.
Help finish the baseball stadium.
Abaco needs to be completely
all kind
rebuilt.
Of thing going on. Man.
Lots of work to be done.
No need for all this bickering.
Right? We need you all. We could be one happy family.
The canvas is still bare.
Very. Turn us into the United Nations.
Problem is, you don't get something for nothing.
Well, well, that's, I guess.
I feel like we don't truly ask, what do you really want?
Yeah. No, playing shy, playing cute. But hey, okay, so that's some interesting things. Very nice statement from the U.S. What do you make of this? What do you say? There's nothing you can disagree with. Yeah. The point that Chester made is the good point, though. What do you have to do for this? Is it just a gift, or are you going to have to pay this back? Or if you default in the payment, what happens?
Well,
right?
We know the whole China-Taiwan thing.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to pick for us and not them. And this
right,
whole,
which we did many years ago. Mm-hmm. And they were a very good friend to us.
Yep.
Very good friend.
Yep.
And like the rest of the world, we had to decide to go with the big boy instead of little bro. And but Okay, so what do you say? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Will that be enough? It's a nice statement. Is that it's sincere? Will that satisfy the Americans? Like, okay, well, fine, sure, whatever. Or will they say, nope, you're just saying that to try to deflect and put it on us?
That Cold War mentality bit. That was
that
cut
low blow.
That cut deep. I was like, well,
hey, America, it's 2021, not 1951. What's up with you? It's going to be interesting to see what will that be the end of it, or will there be more? Again, great points people were making yesterday. If America is so concerned, the United States is so concerned, we've not had an ambassador in how many years, right? So many issues. Yes, the U.S. is doing a lot. Absolutely. But there's some things that, and the general mentioned it too, right? After Dorian, after these hurricanes, after COVID, there's a lot to be done. Yeah. And China is offering assistance to a lot of people.
What do they want? Do they want us to say no? Is that the end game?
That's a good question. What do you, right? It's
no China, America's got us. Thanks.
And as people said yesterday, I mean, China never blacklisted anybody around here. Let's read some of your messages before we break. Someone says, China, hit back. This is the hatred and discrimination against Chinese people. Well, I mean, it's a bit far. But anyway, this report demonized the Chinese people. This is the reason the Chinese and Asian people are attacked daily in America. No, let's not do that. That's not it at all. That's crazy. That's something else, and that has to stop as well. But that's not the same. But let's take this very quickly. We've got to go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight.
Hi.
The deal is America and China need to understand that we need all two of them, like you all said. And the deal is in the future, if I was the leader of the Bahamas, I would have let them know that we have to work with all two of them. We can't pick America. We can't pick China. It's all what could benefit the Bahamas. And Dwight, one last question on Chester. I know Donald Trump say a lot of things and what was crazy, but that's suggesting what he was saying, that after the election or one day we should hold China responsible for this COVID-19 virus. Do you think that's fair or unfair, that someone should be responsible for it? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that, and not just Donald Trump. But you have to prove. Right. You have to prove it. It's going to be very hard to prove it. Yeah. There was a WHO team in there.
I was going to say, you also blame them.
Right, he blamed everybody.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to prove that it came from there. There are people in this country swear that they had COVID from 2019, long before China reported anything. Right? It's going to be very hard to prove it. And all you have to do is look back at what came when countries punished other countries for what they did, and to see that only brought about more heartache for the world.
Yeah.
Worse than what we saw before. So we all need to get back on track. The finger pointing is not going to be entirely helpful. Not going to be helpful at all. Right? Get back on track, fix what's broken. And this exposed a lot of things that weren't working at all. And now we know, let's do this before we have another issue. Because what you do to them, when the thing comes from the Bahamas next time, God forbid, what do you want to happen? What's supposed to happen? You think about that. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back with Morning Blend Business, we're talking about the Industrial Tribunal. There is a move to reform this institution. We're going to get into that after the break. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Good morning, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Well, the Chinese embassy is suggesting the United States should do less finger-pointing over China-Bahamian cooperation and do more for vaccine accessibility for developing countries. That after the Nassau Guardian published testimony from U.S. Air Force Commander General Glenn Van Herk, who told the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee that China is attempting to use influence in the Bahamas by offering large-scale economic investments and material support for infrastructure projects. A Chinese embassy spokesperson Han Yin defended such investments in post-hurricane reconstruction and pandemic support, saying they were undertaken in the spirit of building a community with a shared future for mankind. The embassy called negative comments from the U.S. about such assistance disappointing. In other news, government has allocated $3 million to fund its food assistance program through June. Acting Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson says government has already spent $34 million on the program in a bid to help families through the economic crisis created by this pandemic. Back in February, Prime Minister Minnis estimated 72,000 households had already benefited from the program. And the COVID vaccination program on New Providence and Grand Bahama resumes today. Minister for Health Renward Wells says more than 10,000 people have already received the first dose of that AstraZeneca vaccine, and that government is open to securing other approved vaccines from either Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day, boy.
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking about everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and junk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you, and your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau, or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Meet Jackie. Jackie's a hard worker with a steady income, but she has a personal loan and multiple credit cards to pay off. To keep her account current, Jackie opted for a loan from Fidelity Bank to consolidate her debt into one monthly payment and earn interest on a built-in savings account. Be like Jackie. Call 356-7764 to book a complimentary financial coaching session. Fidelity also offers virtual assistance. Fidelity, We're good for you.
This traffic report brought to you by Shield Insurance.
Final look at traffic this morning. In the past hour, the lines coming out of the southwest gateways got very lengthy. There was that run before 9 that saw a slight increase in the traffic movement in the streets. And this late, still a challenging ride to get out on Gladstone Road, Samalabala Highway, and to some degree even Carmichael Road, even though the traffic through that intersection has been the lesser of the three all morning. Same time, some familiar congestions and delays develop and an hour on their way. Still, folks are stacking on Soldier Road, getting through the traffic light at Wolf and Burnett Road. And the route between Soldier and Marathon got a bit busier over there on Prince Charles Drive. The ride in from the west over West Bay Street, not bad at all. No congestions there. And coming in from the east, the Eastern Road has no buildup this morning. And while Burnett Road saw active traffic going into Fox Hill and coming out, no lengthy delays happening over there as well. The ride in from the deep south along East Street is quite moderate. Slowdowns because of the amount of cars that are moving about. But still, you've got no lengthy congestion or delays crossing Soldier Road or heading north into the roundabouts ahead. Again, active, but not congested. This National Traffic Report in service of Dr. Daddy Johnson and Associates at Foot and Ankle International, who offer the simplest and safest treatment for foot injuries, ingrown toenails, corns, heel pain, and more. Visit Foot and Ankle International for relief. They're located Dean's Lane atop the hill at Fort Charlotte. Call them at 322-5402. That's 322-5402 for more info. With the Riders Guide, look at traffic in real time. I'm VAAA.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. The Biden administration's new survey shows that only 34% of students are in the classroom full-time as we continue to fight the coronavirus pandemic. But nearly half of public schools are open for 5-day-a-week in-person classes. President Biden's announcing that all adults will be eligible for a COVID shot by April 19th. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Magani.
He says the nation's on track to meet his goal of 200 million shots administered by month's end.
Even moving at the record speed we're moving at, we're not even halfway through vaccinating over 300 million Americans.
And as cases rise nationwide,
we're still in a life and death race.
Both the president and Dr. Anthony Fauci are warning of wrong steps.
We're really on the brink of a surge.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
California plans to lift most coronavirus restrictions on June 15th. I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Chester Robards with us as well. This morning on the show, we are talking about the Bahamas Industrial Tribunal and what needs to be done to reform this body. We're going to talk about where things are right now and what is being proposed. We're talking with Robert Farquharson with the National Tripartite Council. That's coming up. But first, it's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. In your morning business report, RBC Royal Bank is closing 2 more branches, one in New Providence and its Governor's Harbor Luther branch. This as the company continues to adjust its business to remain competitive and profitable. That's according to the bank's managing director, Lasanya Missick. Missick telling Guardian Business that the bank has decided to consolidate its Governor's Harbor branch with its Harbor Island location by the end of next month and will close its Mackey Street branch by the end of June and move those operations to its Palmdale branch. While Missick did not say what the fate of those branches' employees will be, she explained that RBC will help them determine their next steps. While there's been much ire about banks pulling operations out of Family Islands, Missick says it does not have a solution for clients. It does have a solution for clients who depend on the Governor's Harbor location for their banking needs, though she did not give any specifics about that alternative plan. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. As Carnival Cruise Line announces another sailing pause extension, this time to July, the company's president is contemplating the possibility of home porting outside the U.S. after recently taking a hard stance that it would not begin its cruises from anywhere other than American ports. In a statement released yesterday, CCL President Christine Duffy said that while the cruise line remains committed to working with the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it has been unable to do business for more than a year due to the CDC's hesitation to allow sailings from U.S. ports. She said, quote, "While we have not made plans to move Carnival Cruise Line ships outside of our U.S. home ports, we may have no choice but to do so in order to resume our operations, which have been on pause for over a year. We appreciate the continued patience and support from our loyal guests, travel advisors, and business partners as we work on a return to service solution." She continued that they know that this has been disappointing to guests who continue to be eager to sail, and that they remain committed to working with the administration and the CDC to find a workable solution that best serves the public interest and public health. Should CCL change its position on departing its ships from ports outside the U.S., it will be joining the likes of Royal Caribbean International and Crystal Cruises, which have already begun to sell cabins for cruises beginning at Nassau's cruise port. And Bahamas Air revealing it experienced a definite uptick in load factors over the weeks leading to the Easter holiday period, with all of its flights booked to capacity. Bahamas Air Chairman Tommy Turnquist saying the bulk of travelers on the airline were locals traveling Family Islands and South Florida. The full flights are an about turn to the load factors during the months of January and February, when Bahamas Air reported very slow bookings at only 25% of what they were during the same period a year earlier. Overseas, a spokesperson for German Chancellor Angela Merkel is supporting calls for a short uniform lockdown as the country grapples with a rise in coronavirus cases. German state governors who are responsible for imposing and lifting restrictions have taken differing approaches. Some back limited reopening steps and others advocate a stricter lockdown. One governor, who also leads Merkel's party, is calling for a 2 to 3 week bridge lockdown to control infections while vaccinations are ramped up. Merkel's spokeswoman says that every call for a short uniform lockdown is right. She says numbers of new cases aren't good and that a rise in the number of occupied intensive care beds speaks a very clear language. Meanwhile, from the UK, on the surface, London's financial district appears to be a shell of its former self. No one is rushing to meetings, and chairs are flipped upside down on tables inside closed cafes and pubs. The roads are ghostly quiet on a bright spring morning, but a hive of activities taking place at one spot as builders lay the groundwork for the latest skyscraper to transform the skyline. Developers of the tower, called 8 Bishopsgate, are confident that when construction ends late next year, workers and firms will return to fill all 50 floors of the gleaming new office space. When the coronavirus struck, nearly 540,000 workers vanished almost overnight from the business hub, known as the City of London, or simply the City. A year on, most haven't returned. Some are saying this is unprecedented. The coronavirus has killed more than 15,000 Londoners and shaken the foundations of one of the world's great cities. As a fast-moving mass vaccination campaign holds the promise of reopening, many are wondering how long it will be before things return to normal. Closer to home in your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday. Your market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 9,630 shares, closing up 2 cents to $2.97. Focall moving 5,000, up 1 cent to $3.95. Consolidated Water unchanged at $2.65. Emir Incorporated down 1 cent to $11.27. The BISX All Share Index closing at 1,962.51, up 3.06. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we are discussing the Bahamas Industrial Tribunal, the way forward, here on Morning Blend Business, brought to you by Cash and Go. Now, with over 8,000 active users in our handy mobile wallet, no need to wait, just log on and get going with Cash and Go.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Cash and Go. Pay all your bills at Cash and Go. Send your money from Cash and Go. Tap up your minutes. Cash and Go.
Did you know businesses can take advantage of our in-app marketing? Sign up with Cash and Go and grow your business with direct marketing through our network.
You can do it at Cash and Go. Pay all your bills at Cash and Go. Send your money from Cash and Go. Tap up your minutes. Cash and Go. Pay insurance at Cash and Go. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's at Cash and Go.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details. Or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
Wait, you know what going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother's sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Penn. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I boy?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Croc Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen. Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Been away, haven't seen you in a while. How've you been? Have you changed your style, and do you think that we've grown up differently? Don't seem the same. Seems you've lost your feel for me. So let's leave it alone, 'cause we can't see eye to eye. There ain't no good guy, there ain't no bad guy. There's only you and me, and we just disagree.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday morning. And we are talking about the Bahamas Industrial Tribunal and some efforts being made to reform this body. Here to talk about this and the way forward. Very pleased to welcome back to the show from the National Tripartite Council, Robert Farquharson. Sir, good morning. Great to have you with us again.
A pleasant good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Bahamas.
All right. So for those who might not be familiar with the Industrial Tribunal, let's give us a little background on it, what it has been doing up to this point. What is the purpose of the Industrial Tribunal?
Well, the Industrial Tribunal was created by an act of Parliament in 1996, and the primary purpose of the tribunal was to the purpose of the tribunal to establish a tribunal to provide a productive and efficient quality dispute resolution mechanism for industrial relations in the Bahamas and employment matters. If you have an issue with your employment, you have a dispute with your employer, and it is unresolved, whether it be by overtime, whether it be by vacation pay, rather than going to court, the tribunal was created to act as a quick resolution mechanism to have employers and employees both come to this particular institution, have the matters resolved. And so the tribunal, as indicated, was the difference between that and the Supreme Court initially was that we wanted to take out the informality as practiced in the Supreme Court, where the rules of evidence are not as rigid, where anybody can go to the tribunal. You don't have to be an attorney. You can be called to the bar. You can represent yourself. And the idea was to have a system where a lot of the technicalities that are associated with the Supreme Court is removed from the process, and you're supposed to have a quick and speedy resolution. Over the years, it has changed. It has changed where a couple of years ago, you had persons waiting 4 or 5 years for a case to come up. You can imagine if you are terminated and you believe you were wrongfully terminated, it takes 4 or 5 years for your case just to be heard.
My goodness.
In recent times, however, the president of the tribunal, Mr. Dwight, has made tremendous strides in really dealing with the backlog of cases. She has introduced a number of new systems in place, which really has transformed the tribunal to become more efficient. Today, I think you may be able to get a hearing within 6 months. Obviously, it is less than a year, but it's far from where it was a few years back where you had to wait 4 or 5 years.
Excellent.
But yet still, the tribunal still needs some reform because there are some major issues and challenges with the tribunal that we believe is causing much hardship in the industrial relations environment here in the Bahamas.
Definitely. We'll get into that. Now, I know that there's been a perception that it was mainly dealing with trade union disputes, but it's definitely much more than that, though.
Oh, yes. The tribunal has been transformed to hear all matters dealing with employment. You don't even have to be a trade union and to go to tribunal. If you are wrongfully dismissed, if you are unfairly dismissed, if you're employed. Right now, Dwight, we have persons who work 60, 70 hours a day, right now today, and employers refuse to pay overtime as stipulated in the law. There is case law that says, and we don't believe that if you are owed overtime, someone has thought you could go back as far as 6 years and claim that overtime at the tribunal if you have the facts to back you up. And so many things happen. Then on the employer side, you have employers who are aggrieved by employees who are not performing, and they are dismissed for not performing or for committing breaches of the contract of employment. And the tribunal is there to make sure the employer is also protected in that if an employee is not deserving of an award, the employer can go to the tribunal and say, no, I believe I am employed for just cause. And as a result of termination just cause, I should not have to pay this employee no termination pay or no severance pay. Mm-hmm. And so it's an equal balance. And we believe in the National Tripartite Council that the tribunal should be go back to its original intent to resolve dispute efficiently, effectively, and on a timely basis.
Do you have any stats, any figures as to, I don't know how to put it, how successful employers are versus workers who are terminated? Any figures like that at all available?
I don't have figures, but I am confident that the tribunal is required by law to present an annual report, and the president of the tribunal has repeatedly each year produced her reports. I can tell you, I have the 2018 report here in front of me that I just added. I'm sure if I scour this, I'll be able to find for you. I'll get that statistical information for you beforehand. Okay. But the tribunal, like I indicated, the tribunal's intent really was to be a forum whereby persons can come and resolve their matters expeditiously.
All right, great. So now you talked about it there. You feel the Tripartite Council and many others that we've heard feel that there's still work to be done. There's a lot more that can be done. So how has this process of potentially reforming the tribunal, how did that come about, and where are we in that process right now?
Well, in 2016, I think it was about the president of the tribunal produced a report that speaks about reform. About the need to reform. And let me tell you some of the things in that report that was detailed. The tribunal lacks independence. The tribunal reports to the government. If the tribunal reports to the government, suppose the government is the defendant. Is that considered independent? The tribunal should have control of its own budget. If the government controls the budget, you don't think they'll find a way to somehow cause the tribunal not to have sufficient funds to operate efficiently and effectively? Right now, the tribunal cannot enforce its own judgments. And two of the primary reasons why reform is two things. One, as it presently stands today, the tribunal cannot enforce its own judgments. What do I mean by that? Right?
Yeah.
You go to the tribunal, you are wrongfully dismissed. You go to the Department of Labor, you hear a conciliation matter, it's unresolved, it's referred to the tribunal. After 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, the tribunal says, based on the law, based on your contract of employment, you should be given $4,000 as severance pay and hand notice pay. The tribunal cannot enforce its own ruling. The employer is not compelled to pay that money.
My goodness.
That employee has to go to the Supreme Court, hire a lawyer today, and have the Supreme Court enforce that ruling. Wow. That's one of the great weaknesses of the tribunal. Another weakness of the tribunal is the tribunal, after they cannot compel witnesses to come. If you go to magistrate gives you a summons, you have to go to the court. You could get the witnesses as they wish, but people are not compelled to come. And so those are two of the major, despite all of the other adjustments that has to be made, the National Tripartite Council feel that those two issues must be resolved if we have to improve efficiency and productivity.
Those are huge. So tell me something. Has it happened where the tribunal will award someone and it goes to the court and the court strikes it down? Does that happen?
No, very rarely, because the tribunal, the presidents and vice presidents of the tribunal are attorneys who are sound, particularly in employment law.
Okay.
And when they make their rulings based on law and facts. They look at the facts, they look at law, and they apply the facts to the law, and they make sound judgment. Very a case that is decided at the tribunal is not enforceable by the Supreme Court. And there is an appeals process. If an award is given to the employer or the employee, each side has the right to appeal that matter to the Court of Appeal. Mm-hmm. And the Court of Appeal has, in many, many instances, upheld the rulings of the tribunal. It has gone to the Privy Council. Rulings of the tribunal has gone to the Privy Council in the UK, and those rulings have been upheld as well.
My goodness.
So the
if I
presidents
get
and vice presidents are very efficient.
Oh, that's wonderful. But if I get a ruling in my favor in the tribunal and I end up having to go all the way to the Privy Council, am I awarded costs for all of this? I'm having to.
You are awarded costs at the Court of Appeal, and you awarded costs at the Privy Council. The tribunal was designed intentionally, we are awarded. So each person at the tribunal pays its own costs. But if an employer decides to appeal the ruling of the tribunal to the Court of Appeal and subsequently to the Privy Council, then costs are awarded. The Court of Appeal under the UK-based Privy Council has the power to award costs.
Okay. And this is one of the concerns as well, right? About the
certainly, yes,
yeah.
certainly.
Tell
the
us more about
tribunal
that.
right now, one of the things, one of the other weaknesses, it cannot award costs. It does not have the discretionary power to award costs. You have two sides of the coin. You have an employee who knows they were wrong. They know they had a fundamental breach of the employment contract, and an attempt to extort employers go through the tribunal says, I can take you to court anyhow. Wow. Should have the discretion to say, okay, because you lost, because you are aware that you did this, I award costs to the employer. And vice versa, the employer. We have employers today who knowingly that overtime is the law, knowingly what people have entitled to, and they still refuse to pay. And when they go to tribunal, they say in their statements, that's the law, but I'm paying. The presidents and vice presidents, we believe, should have the discretionary power to award, if only limited costs, as it's done in the magistrate courts.
It sounds good. It sounds good.
Yeah.
Chester.
It sounds like there was almost never even a point to take anything to the tribunal if you have to go after that and chase it down in court.
And that was so sad. So we have complaints from both sides, both employers and employees are complaining about this very, very thing that you have to go to the Supreme Court to enforce this rule. You can imagine. Listen, we have certain employers who would go to the Court of Appeal just to fight an award of $3,000 and spend $20,000.
My goodness.
They would spend $20,000 on a QC to fight an employee who's awarded $3,000 at the tribunal. And that's why we need to find a mechanism. We need to find a way to transform the tribunal, if not for anything, but for those two primary things, for it to have the ability to enforce all rulings and to compel witnesses. We have people who get requests from the tribunal to come to the tribunal and they refuse to come. They know they don't have to come. But if they summon to come, as is done in the magistrate court, as is done in the Supreme Court, then they are compelled, as said, in the legal profession to appear as a witness.
Okay, so what will need to change in order to allow all of these things that you mentioned to start happening?
Well, first and foremost, the National Tribal Council took its first option, and we would have consulted with the stakeholders, with our social partners, and we presented a recommendation to the government to cause the tribunal to become the civil side of the Supreme Court, making it basically the same level as Supreme Court. After significant consultation with the Office of the Attorney General last year rejected that recommendation, and they said that one of the things that would happen is that the recommendation by the NTC will cause the informality to be taken away if we make the tribunal the civil side of the Supreme Court. We disagreed with that position because we would have created and sort of recommended significant rule changes, as is done in a number of Caribbean jurisdictions, where they could still have the powers of the Supreme Court, but have the formality remain. Notwithstanding that, we, the NTC, feel that for us to make this successful, we must have the concurrence of the government and the Attorney General to support this matter. And of course, the Chief Justice plays a critical role. So we would have consulted with the Chief Justice and the Attorney General in the first initial last year.
Before you get to that, so when you came with your counter argument that this is done in other jurisdictions, what did they say to that? Did they have anything to say to that?
They still held their position. We have examples where similar courts issues are done in Trinidad and a number of Caribbean jurisdictions. Notwithstanding that, however, we did not let that deter us at the National Trial Council. We appointed what we called a legal advisory committee, where we invited representatives from the Bahamas Bar Association. We looked at the law again. We had significant research done from a number of countries in the United Kingdom, in Asia, in the Caribbean. And the report recommended that we take a second look at the tribunal and introduce a system that's typically done in the United Kingdom, where we have an tribunal. We have a two-tier system where the tribunal has initially the formality, where anybody can go as it's done. And a second tier, which has the appeal tier, where informality is done all in the tribunal system. But the hybrid system will allow, and our recommendation will allow, once the ruling is made at the tribunal in the new regime that is recommended, that ruling is immediately registered with the Supreme Court by the president or vice president of the tribunal, not having the need to hire an attorney because it is registered by the tribunal itself. You could just go to the Supreme Court and have the Supreme Court enforce that ruling. That's the first tier. The second tier in our recommendation is that to avoid the scores and scores of appeals that are being practiced by the employers today, we have an appeals tribunal within a tribunal system where we could hire a couple of Supreme Court justices, a couple of retired Supreme Court justices, and once your case is heard and determined at the informal level at the tribunal, an employer then has the right to appeal within the tribunal system. It's heard immediately, because what we have over the years been saying, Dwight, is that employers appeal for appeal's sake. You know, if you appeal a ruling of the tribunal, that individual has to go and hire an attorney to go to the Court of Appeal to represent them. In our recommendation, that will be eliminated. And so it is hoped to design by the system as practiced right now in the United Kingdom. That will do a couple of things. It will cause the rulings of the tribunal, once registered by a vice president at the informal matter, to immediately register the Supreme Court. So any individual, once it's registered at the Supreme Court, can say, okay, the vice president made this ruling is now in your court, please enforce this ruling. And they can do it without having to go and hire an attorney. And secondly, a system within the tribunal mechanism, which would allow swifter appeals, and thus not having the high cost of retaining a QC on a notable attorney to take your matter to the Supreme Court. It's a recommendation that was approved by the National Tribal Council, and we are now at a stage where we're going out to public consultation. We want the views of the wider Bahamian community to see if they agree with our recommendation. We have created a survey. We have gone out to all of the stakeholders. We have sent this recommendation to every parliamentarian, all of the civil and social groups, to the church, and we want to invite members of the public to hear what we have to say, read the report what we submit, and get their views back. So when we do make the recommendation to the government, we say to the government, here are our recommendations from the committee, here are the views of the public. We strongly recommend that you enact legislation to cause this to happen.
All right. Tell us more about that, and we'll repeat that at the end of the show. But tell us more about how people can give their views on this.
Okay. We invite people to chime in on our Facebook page. The National Tribal Council has a Facebook page. We invite people to. We created a survey. We're going to be sending a survey out to members of the public. We have invited members of the the electronic and print media to come in. We want to hear your views. You can email us at email address I'll get the email address for you right now, but you can send us an email. You can reach us on Twitter, and mechanism whereby members of the public can express their views. Our survey, as I indicated, is available at our office. Our office is located in the National Training Agency Hay Building on the corner of Munnings Road and Glasson Road. You can come and you can drop off your opinion there for us. And so we have a number of different ways for members of the public to hear. But there is a survey. Our email address is nationaltripartite@bahamas.gov.bs. That's nationaltripartite@bahamas.gov.bs. And the idea is for members of the public to get a copy of the report. The report is on our Facebook page, and once you access the report, and then you can respond to the report by giving us your comments and suggestions and recommendations.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to find out from you what happens after that consultation period and where we go from here.
Sure. Okay.
And how long we anticipate this is going to take before we see the real reform there. And we're going to take some calls and questions as well. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Been away, haven't seen you in a while. How've you been? Have you changed your style? And do you think that we've grown up differently? Seems you've lost your feel for me. So let's leave it alone, 'cause we can't see eye to eye. There ain't no good guy, there ain't no bad guy. There's only you and me, and we just disagree.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010. See what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Cash and go, pay all your bills and cash and go. Send your money from cash and go. Top up your minutes, cash and go.
Did you know businesses can take advantage of our in-app marketing? Sign up with Cash and Go and grow your business with direct marketing through our network.
You can do it at cash and go. Pay all your bills and cash and go. Send your money from cash and go. Top up your minutes, cash and go. Pay insurance and cash and go. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a cash and go.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details. Or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
Wait, you know what's going down tomorrow? Nobody, what happening? Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in. For what? Wait, he fooled with Joe girl. Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means he got a big fight tomorrow. So whose side you want? Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight. Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool. So cool? Then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight. Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, him and he boys coming for me next. All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight. What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch. We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you. So what are the boy?
All you gotta do is call them or you text them through the Croc Crime Bahamas app and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info? And when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami and they don't ask nothing about you. Then if you get the pen from them and they can claim a reward later using that same pen. Plus, everything's scrambled so nobody can read what you saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And time for your final look at weather for this morning. Here is what's happening. We've got tropical moisture being pulled across the Bahamas today as high pressure remains the dominant weather feature across the area. For today, your forecast for the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny and warm with a chance of passing showers, becoming partly cloudy and mild tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy and warm with isolated showers, becoming partly cloudy and mild tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Temperature-wise, today we're looking for highs getting up to a high 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Right now we are at 72 Fahrenheit under fair skies. Overnight lows tonight get 9 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will remain the dominant weather feature across the country through at least Friday. So for tomorrow, Thursday, look for partly sunny and warm conditions with a chance of showers. Becoming fair and warm at night, pretty much the same for Friday. And that pattern is going to hold until at least Sunday when rain chances creep up a bit and temperatures rise as well. That's your morning blend weather check. We're back here with Morning Blend Business. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. We're talking with Robert Farquharson with the National Tripartite Council, talking about reform of the Bahamas Industrial Tribunal. We've got a few text messages here. Robert Farquharson, let's get through these and then we'll continue. Somebody's saying, great show, but it sounds to me that if an employee has an issue with an employer, the employee might as well just carry the issue to the court at one time. Are people thinking that as well? Are you seeing people bypass the tribunal to go straight to the court?
Yes, there has been instances where persons would have, because of the weaknesses just in the system, the persons have chosen to go to the Supreme Court, which means retaining an attorney, which could be very expensive for someone who is seeking to recover $3,000-4,000. Some attorneys charge $5,000 as a retainer.
My goodness.
And so the tribunal system, as indicated earlier, was designed to be less costly, more effective for the typical man on the street, and more speedier. You have less delays at the tribunal and its original design. And hopefully once we reform the tribunal, it will revert back to a system where cases can be heard in a matter of months and persons can have quick and efficient resolution of their disputes.
I know in recent years we've been seeing a push towards arbitration and mediation here in the country. Are people seeking that avenue as opposed to the tribunal?
Well, certainly that's a wonderful thing that you brought it up, because that's also one of the goals of the National Traffic Council. In fact, we're working on a mechanism as we speak today for the National Traffic Council to become a national alternative dispute resolution center for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It's in its infancy stage now. We hope to announce where the National Traffic Council has established an alternative dispute resolution arbitration center, where you can choose either to go to the Supreme Court, you can choose to go to the tribunal, or you can choose to come to the NTC and have your matter reserved using dispute resolution.
Do we need all of those?
Finding and binding arbitration, we do, because let me give you a prime example. An employee is owed $5,000 or less in overtime pay over 3 years. He was terminated. He did something wrong. The employer had the right to terminate his services, but the employer was not following the provisions of the Employment Act outlined in Section 10 of the Employment Act about overtime, which is done. Plenty of people are not paying people overtime. I said, if you work on a public holiday or you work on your day off, the law says you have to be paid twice based on case law. You can go back for 6 years to make that claim once you have the evidence. And so an employer may not be aware of that. An employer may choose, rather than having to hire an attorney to go to tribunal or go to Supreme Court, have the facts before a dispute resolution center where a retired Supreme Court justice, experienced high senior level public officer can look at the case, look at both sides and decide, okay, based on the law, based on the evidence before me, this gentleman is owed $3,000 overtime pay. And the employer says, okay, $3,000, fine, that's the end of it. That's quicker, it's more efficient, it's more speedy, and both sides are happy.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about what happens after this consultation period.
Well, first,
what's the next step?
I want to take the time to express my thanks and appreciation to members of the National Traffic Council working over the past 6 years, particularly Ms. Joan Dilworth, who served as the chairman of the Legal Advisory Committee for putting together a comprehensive report. Once we complete the public consultation process, as we started on April 1st and expected to end on April the 30th, we will compile the results of the survey. We'll compile the comments given by members of the public, along with the report, and we will submit it to our Minister, Senator, the Honorable Dion Fowkes, who more than likely and is expected to pass the report on to his colleague, Senator the Honorable Carl Bell from the Office of the Attorney General, and subsequently to the Cabinet for a recommendation and enactment of the necessary legislation to cause this transformation to happen. And we don't have to reinvent the wheel, Dwight. We have a model right there in the United Kingdom. I had the pleasure of visiting the United Kingdom when I was in university. And we saw the tribunal system in work over there, where we have an appeal system within the tribunal. You go to the court, go to the tribunal in a very informal manner. A trade unionist can represent you. A labor advocate can represent you. You can go and represent yourself. If a decision is made and the employer is not happy with the decision, they can go within the tribunal system, have it appealed, what they call the appeals tribunal, the employment appeals tribunal in the United Kingdom. And that is a body made up of trained, qualified jurists and attorneys, and they hear your case, and it's final and it's binding. The same system can be brought here in the Bahamas, and we could have, in the not too distant future, a mechanism for dispute resolution that's more efficient, more productive. It makes both the employer and the employees happy.
Right. Now, you said it, not too distant future. How not too distant, right? How long before we think this could actually come into fruition?
Well, it is anticipated, Dwight, that once the National Public Relations Campaign ends on the 30th of April, sometime during May, the National Traffic Council will adopt a resolution to have the matter sent on to our Minister, Senator Dion Fowkes, for his mechanism, for his work to be done. I'm certain that Minister Fowkes will take the necessary time to consult with the Office of the Attorney General before the recommendation is submitted to his cabinet colleagues for approval. We hope, Dwight, that between now and the end of this year, this calendar year, the government will find the time to bring legislation before the House of Assembly, and cause this transformation to become a reality.
Yeah. How are you? We've seen much, some great legislation, some great work put before the cabinet, and it just collects dust. What are we thinking?
Well, our job as a National Traffic Council, as outlined in our ARC, is to be a forum for industrial and labor relations here in the Bahamas. And a forum means we get the stakeholders together, which is the social partners. We make recommendations to be say to the government, this is what the people of the Bahamas say is in the best interest of the Bahamian people. We put it to you for your final enactment. And when the smoke clears, I believe that all governments, don't care which side of the political divide, are designed to do what is in the best interest of the people who they represent. And I am confident that the work of the National Traffic Council will not go in vain. I'm confident that the policy makers will look at the recommendation, determine that it's sound, it's fair, it's reasonable, and they will take steps to ensure that it's enacted for and on behalf of the Bahamian people.
Mm-hmm. Have you been getting any feedback so far?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question, please?
Any feedback so far from employers?
Oh, yes, we have gotten, so far we have gotten some feedback. Someone would have called me yesterday and shared with me a letter they had sent to the Prime Minister with similar recommendations on a labor advocate. I would have gotten a number of emails supporting our recommendation outlined in the LAC's report. And like I said, it just started on April 1st. And so we look forward in another few weeks to get scores and scores of requests. As indicated, if you want to see a copy of the report, send me an email at nationaltripartite@bahamas.gov.bs, or you can go to NTC's Facebook page, and that you can read and download a copy of the report. And you will also see a letter there that has a link where you can electronically download the survey. Survey is only about 10 questions. And once you answer those 10 questions, you can send it to us. You can return it to us electronically as well. Or you may choose to print the survey, take it in, and you can drop it here at the office, the administrative offices of where I am located on the corner of Glasson Road and Munnings Road in the NTA building.
Chester, you were asking something?
Go on. Hey, Chester, go ahead, Chester.
I was just saying, you guys have to be commended because these changes are going to be so important and probably needed to have been done a long time ago. There's probably a lot of unhappy people who have tried to get justice done and hit a roadblock in the current system, right?
Certainly. We have. I mean, just yesterday, persons call us all the time. Why do I have to fight a QC to get $3,000 that is owed to me by that employer? I mean, why do I have employers who knowingly violate my statutory rights for simple things, sick leave pay, vacation pay? I mean, the law says clearly after 7 years of continuous service, you are to pay 3 weeks vacation. We have persons who come to us been working for 10 years, 11 years, and the employer is still paying them 2 weeks vacation. That's wrong. You shouldn't have to go hire QC to get what the law says you're entitled to. Yeah. And so we hope that once this comes into play, it will be an easier mechanism for the simple man on the street to get justice.
All right, this is exciting stuff. Keep us posted, Robert Farquharson. We want to hear more, especially once the consultation period is finished. So that's the end of it. Okay, so we don't have much time left. But folks, get your views heard. And again, that's on the NTC Facebook page, or you can email nationaltripartite@bahamas.gov.bs. All right. Robert Farquharson, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Right. Have a wonderful day.
Chester, thank you as well. I'll talk with you next week. And I'll be back with more Morning Blend business here on Guardian Radio 96.9 right after Morning Blend tomorrow morning. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green.